Salute, salute, salute. What's the business? Welcome to the Damu Kiwe conversation. It's Duke Sims, the Don. Hey, man, one thing for sure, two things for certain, man. I appreciate the hate. Hey, sometimes they can't wait, don't know how to congratulate, so we just embrace the hate and keep our focus straight, man. Get to the bag. So, hit that like button, share on your way in, tell a friend, y'all in the house with Brim and them. So, Damu and Kiwe conversation reacts to TrapLore Ross, Big U's LA's most wanted, most dangerous Crip, nigga. Damn. I remember CS2 Back said some shit like that. They was like, who do you know in the history is the most something Crip, right? Right? And they was like, Whack 100 would say, I'm going to have to say draws. Let me see if I can find that real quick. But in the meantime, in between time, let me go ahead and play this song for y'all real quick, right? Bisection. So look, man, John Lucas say, all due respect, we'd rather hear you respond to young Ant than this. Listen, bro, with all due respect, you don't run this shit, nor do you understand what great content is. Young and Hefe just lost and decimated the core of his fan base. He doesn't understand the power of authenticity, which to most of y'all who don't understand marketing and business, don't understand that that's a great way of marketing, right? Marketing 101, authenticity. And a lot of us were fooled because we believed that he wouldn't duck a fade, because we believe he done been through some of the shit that niggas like us in South Central Compton and Watts go through naturally, right? And we hadn't heard no smut on him. But what y'all all failed to understand is just because a nigga jump in that motherfucking G-Rod and take a field trip, or just because a nigga don't turn down no fades, don't mean a nigga a real nigga. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas is flip-floppers. These niggas don't stand on nothing and they're morally in debt. Degenerates, right? Anything for a quick dollar. You know what I'm saying? Anything for a quick dollar. And he overestimated in his arrogance where his support came from. 600 vouched for him, which already had niggas skeptical, but niggas gave him benefit of the doubt, right? A lot of people on the internet ain't looking for no problems. Why would you get on the internet looking for problems? If you really needed that or wanted that, nigga, you be in the field where it counts. Front line. Doing what you supposed to be doing on that front line. He ain't that. Maybe before. I doubt that. Nigga gotta show me. But in any event, he went and did a show after disrespecting Duke Sims, the Don. Desperado Angelino, an outlaw from born and raised in Los Angeles, talking about Wisconsin. Wisconsin, he's been there 25 years. Do you understand? You sound like Beast, the one that Adam 22 called Wax Parrot. 20-something years, you weird ass nigga. Do you understand who you talking to? You couldn't be that familiar in them South Central streets. I don't know how old you is, but in the last 25 to 30 years, I don't know no Fruittown Brim member who name rang like Eminem at all. Not just from rapping, catching niggas slipping in the set, trying to knock them down, go to YA in the halls, knocking niggas out, right? I mean, that's my reputation, 1,000-0. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? But when you overestimate it in your arrogance, your position, well, let's go to the before. Yeah, I want you to really see what happens to goofies, right? Goofologists, and how they can alienate their whole fan base by being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? By not understanding business and marketing. You went against everything we stand for. I'm talking about we as far as our community. Don't mess with rats, etc., etc. Fuck the establishment. Standing as one of the people. So I didn't even watch this. But look, Do Sims, I'll knock the rest of your teeth out. I pay for your flight to LA, blood, part 1. He didn't even, this nigga is so illiterate. Look at this. I apostrophe LL, and this video is IN. I told you the nigga was slow, right? So what I want to do, we just gonna go to some of the top what you call it, comments. Let me see, y'all. Can you see this shit? Hold on. We want these people to be able to see this illiterate ass, dumb ass nigga. Deuce M's out without the not the rest.
I can see what you posted. Unless you zoom into it, I can most definitely see it on board though.
Right. So okay, there we go. And pay for your flight to LA, part 1. N-I-N instead I-O. I apostrophe L-L. The nigga dumb, right? Really stupid. But look how even more stupid. We knew he couldn't spell and put together sentences. Hit that like button on y'all way in. Ain't no way you are saying all of this while CS2 back and 600 been making the same videos for 3 years about one man. Now you looking a little goofy, dog. So why haven't you spoke on Wack and 600 doing content on Big U for 2 years straight? But you can speak on Deuce Sims doing content on Wack? Use your brain. Adults Reality TV, damn. And you was smiling ear to ear. I never seen you smile like that on no video. You was really real happy being up there with them rats. You was all smiles. Chanel Alamune, bro, this video ain't it. You trying hard to expose Deuce Sims, but you really ain't saying nothing. Young Op, damn, Wack got you putting in work. Never thought I would see Ant fall down to this level. He was supposed to be a real one. Time for a DP. Ant, you a sellout dealing with Wack 100. That's fucked up, man. I'm just trying to make some money. Wack called you a buster on the phone for hours. Your words, and you mad at Duke for saying what everyone's saying. Wack and 600 ran a whole campaign, lie snitching on Big U, but you cool with that. You friends with a cop and a confidential informant, all for a no jumper interview. Sad, bro. You didn't even get a check for that. J-Boy TV, you on the wrong side of the fence with this one. You aligned with a federal informant to go at a solid dude. Same shit Wack did with using Loose to go at Big U. And you see where that's at, where they at. Riz Jair, how much Wack paying you? This ain't it, gangster. Mark Stevens was on the Main Street case. He showed the paperwork. He was the first person who said Wack is CS2 back. And he said Wack told on him. What part of that can't you comprehend? So, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. That was 100% of about the first 20 comments on his channel. Alienated his base to be a do boy, a fuck boy, for a confidential source, a crash out.
Nasty
You
work,
a
bro.
do boy, nigga. I'm Deuce Sims, the Don, nigga. You are not like us, nigga. And I'm gonna let Yael do something because we just body said you rather hear us respond to Young Ant, so I'm gonna respond to you before and respond to it before we get into the content. So we been trolling his weird ass the whole time because it's really sad. You know what I'm saying? For when a nigga believe he can have an opportunity and believe that somebody is on and can put them on, they'll sell their ass. They'll sell themselves. They'll sell out their community and their set. So we gonna address that. We've been trolling him, but honestly, he already shot himself in the leg. And what we do here is expose the exposers, nigga. Welcome to the hashtag ETE, the Damu and Kiwe conversations. Expose the debriefers. Yeah, you want to speak on this before we move on? Oh, and we got a super chat, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Give me 1 second. Let me get to the super chat first. We got a $10 super chat. Walter Persons, $10 super chat. Salute my brothers. Hey man, anything and everything that is given to the Damu Kiwe conversation team is highly appreciated. Man, blessings to you, your family, and your tribe.
All right, we're gonna let you go ahead and respond.
First off, salute to my brother Do Sam for holding it down. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. You already know that's where it's at. And salute to the Blue Wrench mob that's on their job. First off, let's get this understood. Young fat buffet. Let's let's get this understood, my nigga. You know damn well you getting hearsay from a rat. Now that reliable source, when it come to me, that ain't 100% true. Let's get the facts straight. And you're right. I don't fuck with my homies. You want to know why? Because they doing the same goofy ass, lame ass shit you did, the same shit Rose did, the same shit Eddie Boy did. All these niggas is compromised, nigga. The same shit 600 pennies did. All these niggas is fucking with a rat for clout and association with a platform that's incriminating our people. So you damn right, I don't fuck with niggas. The only way I'ma fuck with a nigga, he gotta make it all the way right. And them niggas ain't willing to stand on that and make it right. Second of all, catching a fade, bro, is the easiest thing in life. That's the easiest thing in life, my nigga. So please stop talking about keep that same energy and all that. We already know you seen your quote unquote ops and you put your head down, clown.
Dead homies.
You a
And
clown,
left the
nigga.
event. And
Nigga,
left the event.
nigga, you a clown. Any nigga that had an issue with me that walked up on me, nigga, got their ass socked on, nigga. You better go ask for them receipts. Matter of fact, go check YouTube out. Weird ass nigga. Go check it out.
He just like CS2 back. He got zero phase, bro.
No fades, nigga. I don't turn down no fade. So while you calling out a nigga in Wisconsin, hey, young fat hefe, buffet, I'ma give you a hug, bro. You need a hug. Don't trip. We brothers, right? We give you a hug, my nigga. We gonna hug it out. Know that. I don't turn no fade down. You better ask my homies, the ones that got sucked on and ran, the ones that got registered blicks on them and still got their ass whooped. You better go ask them bitch ass niggas.
Dead
Bitch
homies.
ass nigga, you's a bitch, nigga. You ain't talking to one of them weird ass niggas. You talking to a nigga that's gonna sock you in your shit, cause you already said it, nigga. You already said what you said, so guess what, brother? We gonna hug it out. And on that note, we are the voice of the culture and the West Coast, nigga. Damu Kiwe. Conversations. Let's have one.
Hey, so what's crazy, right? Salute to Shauna from the 504, new member. I thought she was already a member, but let's get into this chat before we get into the content. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Damu and Kiwe Conversations. Please hit that like button and share with your friends. You know what I'm saying? It's Yael and Du Sims. Beautiful black lady. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Ricky. Salute to the Damu Kiwe fam. We got another adversary. This time it's an overseas cake rocker shaking my MF head. Hey, listen, man. Shout out to Damu and Kiwe Conversations, Du Sims and Yael. Hey, man, Kid the Barber, salute. The shop is busy, but we watching. I can't chat right now, but we watching, though. Get him, Deuce.
Man.
Get him.
Hey, Deuce, I gotta say this, bro. I don't give a fuck what we go through, whatever differences, you my brother. And when the nigga call out a nigga that stood on business or going against fuck niggas, on the dead homies, I got cut front and back fade, nigga. You ain't talking nothing but a squabble, nigga. And that's, nigga, I'm a pill. This a tough pill to swallow, my nigga. You doing all this high power, internet, blase, nigga. You ain't saying Nathaniel, nigga. You not
Bro,
saying nothing, my nigga.
that nigga popped, bro. That nigga's about 5'11". The nigga got titties bigger than Maria's on the dead homies, nigga.
He's gonna get
With
socked,
a
nigga.
big ass stomach. Nigga can't even take a gut punch, nigga.
Woo,
This nigga talking about a fade. Nigga, we don't see none of that shit.
Oh my
None
God,
of it.
bro. You're gonna get
Talking
your
about
ass whooped, nigga.
Yeah, bro. But Mop Wax say, what's Dick Trapper issue with y'all? And more importantly, with Big U, I'm starting to notice a pattern with how he covers Big U topic. Oh, the Dick Trapper? I don't know. He said that he called me out for a fade, but the nigga had my phone number and he ain't never called me and told me nothing.
Bro.
Now his uncle told me that he said he want to fade. I said, tell Blood pull up. We got something for him since he want a clout chase. I'm going to teach him what this gang banging is about, right? And after that, they said, no, leave that alone. Leave that alone, right? Nigga talk about a fade. Nigga, you ain't my homeboy, you weird ass, clout chasing ass, LGBTQ, getting caught on fucking whatever the fucking dating app is.
Fucking
Grinder.
grinder member.
Grinder. You know what I'm saying? So you always gonna have them type of niggas cheerleading and all kind of, feminine type shit, man. The niggas, he's a feminist, my nigga. He with the feminist movement, you know what I'm saying? And after he got at y'all today, it starts to seem like it's more to it. Yeah, that's all it really is. A little bit of jealous, you know what I'm saying? I called him a fanboy because he was sucking Black Sam dick when we was flaming up Black Sam for the allegations of beating on Imani. Nipsey Hussle ain't here. You know what I'm saying? And this little girl is crying out. So no, you can't talk about Black Sam and that nigga bleed just like we do. Just like we could do foul shit, he could do foul shit. And that's a little girl whose father's not here to protect her, nigga. So we need to look into this. I got thank you from the family because he no longer has custody of that little girl. So, hey, I'll be the bad guy. These niggas be fanboys, nigga. Raton 100 is a level 2 killer with soft Sharon and a gate pass. Shining from the 504, $50 super chat. Fuck them. Y'all get it though. Love all y'all motherfuckers. We love you too, man. Thank you for the $50 super chat.
Man, salute.
Anything donated to the Damu and Kiwe conversation is appreciated. Gaddafi's tone fit. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Salute. Wa alaikum assalam, king. Salute to you and yours. We wish peace upon you. Blessings upon you. We stay active in our chucks over here. So please make sure to lace them chucks and hit them lights. De Niro Jones, salute to the chat. Deuce and y'all, salute, man. I think y'all should have a convo with Ant. Y'all both real niggas. We could convo after a nigga put these paws on that nigga. You know what I'm saying? We could talk after that. How about that? Yeah, nigga, I ain't one of these weird ass niggas. Nigga, nigga that called me a bitch, nigga, I tried to cut his throat, nigga. 16 stitches. So yeah, that part. He got a nigga messed up with one of these weirdos, nigga. Active Chucks, Damu and Kiwe conversations. Yael in the chat. G back 2-1. Damu and Kiwe is the realest for show. Active Chucks. We're winning. Shifty Brim. What's bracking, Damu? What's bracking, Brim? Glad you supporting to see a homie up in there supporting Ricky. Let's go. Not the realest in the West, the realest in the net. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to call y'all back, Tony. Okay. Ratone 100 was exposed for lying about his pink thought career, too. Oh, yeah, we the ones that did it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Diamond. Diamond was instrumental in doing that in his time with the Damu and Kiwe conversations. But yeah, we did that. You just heard about it or something? You got to go check the archives. Stand on it media. 100 salute strong. Bees. Okay. Duke Sims, the Don. Cameron, what up, everybody? What up, everybody? So let's get to this real quick. So I was watching this Mountaineer up out of Europe, right? This European Mountaineer, right? And he got a nice put together documentary type thing. So they sold for an informant, facts. And it was on Big U. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know. Big U is our brother. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, before we even start, let me get to this. This is bigger than anything we talked about. And I'm finna make sure that I bring that to y'all. And we gonna be bringing y'all some footage, right? So, damn, hold on. Okay, that's not the one. Bear with me, man, because this one is definitely worth it. And it's gonna touch your heart. You know what I'm saying? Damn, what's up with the thing? I know y'all like, come on with the content. We got the content, but believe you me, this is bigger than the content. All right, so let's go here. I want y'all to read this with me because y'all had to wait. I want y'all to read this with me, man. Wait, do we got another super chat, y'all?
Let me check right now. Super chat. So, oh yeah, we do. We got Sean from the 504. Fuck them, y'all. Getting it done. Love y'all, motherfuckers. Smiley faces, happy faces, and all the hearts. Hey, listen, Sean from the 504, man, we appreciate anything and everything that was given to the Damu Kiwe conversation. It's highly appreciated, brother. Salute to you, your
No,
family,
that's a
and
girl. That's a girl, Shauna.
I apologize. New member, apologies. Ma'am, my apologies. I am wrong.
Yeah.
Salute to you, your family, and your tribe, sister.
So
Salute.
today I got a DM, right?
Right.
And the guy said they kicked us out of the sci-fi this year. They don't want the kids to play. They said the organization needs to take a year off and to change the Crenshaw name. This is what happens without Big U, right? Yeah. They told us that the Crenshaw Cougars youth football organization cannot participate in this upcoming season. And we had to change the name of the organization to play in the Snoop League. Crenshaw is the community, and these kids have nothing to do with anything. Then he say, let me go. So I said, damn, prayers for the kid. He said, I would like it was like a year off. It's like a year off for these kids would be full-fledged in the street because they don't got nothing to do. This was something to keep them productive, keep them out of the streets. This is our community. We got all these bitch-ass niggas that ain't even from South Central, not from Compton, not from Watts, not from Gardena, not from Hawthorne, West LA, or the Valley. But these niggas is speaking up on what they believe is best for our community. Podcasters speaking up on shit they don't know nothing about, following the narratives of the slave master. So I told him, I said, look, I will advocate for the kids. He said, much appreciated. I said, you should get video footage interviewing the kids and how they feel about this. I will play it for the world. He said, I got you. I got practice with them Tuesday. I will get the content. I sent him my Gmail. He said, got you. I said, I promise. As long as I'm free and alive, my voice will always support those kids in the South Central community. He said, man, I like that, bro. I've been coaching for 20 years now. And Big U did so much for them kids. We drove hours picking kids up, dropping kids off. Bro really showed how to care for them. He touched a lot of them kids' lives and changed a lot of their lives. I wonder what WAC 100 is doing for Pacoima and those kids out there in the valley. I wonder, since Christopher Loveboy is claiming he's the new face of the 60s and he's from over there, even though we know he's not really from over there, what is you going to do to remedy this situation? Loose Coochie Cannon, you in jail. You ain't known for that. All these selfish ass pieces of shit. You do the crime, you do the time. Get caught doing crime. And they want to go tell on somebody else. Now they pussies. All that boogeyman shit, all that they hoodsters and gangsters and Damu riders and Rip riders and all of that shit out the window. They skirts lifted up and they shown their clitoris. Right? And y'all just think that's cool. But I thought that was so befitting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, please react to that for me, bro.
Most definitely, King. Yeah, man. It's just this shit, bro. It's you know, when you dealing with spiritual warfare, and what that means is you got certain individuals entertaining demonic entities, persuading their mental that's actually projecting in the physical. These individuals are being entertained by people who possess a spirit that's foul. That's why their politics are foul. That's why the politics is foul. That's why they okay with doing the shit they doing. I coach high school and youth football. I know the impact that it can do and how it can shape and mold and change the psyche of these children firsthand. So if you don't understand that and you took a person from their community actually doing that, you most definitely a piece of shit. Especially when you pushing narratives from an individual who's already openly admitted he has it out for him. He openly lied on this man's name. He openly pushed narratives and basically insinuated he knew it was a lie, but because he was upset, he pushed the lie in his feelings. What kind of righteousness? How do you get righteousness out of that? What's righteous about his movements and his judgments by doing that? Then he aligns himself with individuals who's okay with pushing that narrative also, like 600 pennies, Loose Ashley, Coochie Cannon, and everybody else. He paid what? Rose 30,000.
30 pieces of silver.
30 pieces of silver in federal money to help him push a narrative against his brothers. So he say, you know, Big U's his brother. He got the keys to his house. He could pull up anytime. But yet you went, instead of catching that fade and respecting his decision from falling back from you, you said, nah, I'm gonna push a narrative. I'm gonna attack his character. I want his contracts. I'm gonna deflame, I'm gonna go ahead and attack his name. All in the name of jealousy, envy, spite, and malice. You didn't do it for no other reasons. You didn't do it for no other reasons. You know, that's a rumor in my community right now about me, Deuce. I'm exposing the rats and standing against rats because I'm envious and jealous and hatred towards Roddy. So me going against Rats, it's me being jealous of his success. That is so fucking stupid. And you niggas will believe any narrative if a nigga got a bag and all on this platform and you'll believe it. That's how small-minded you niggas is. Niggas is controlling your thoughts and your actions like young fat buffet. CS2 back is controlling him like a little puppy. He don't even know he the next play that's gonna get ran on. Some people you can't, we're not forcing you guys to listen to
Two
us.
niggas, bro. He up here with two niggas. Neither one could go back to their community without an issue, nigga. Whack. Been summoned for his put off. You hanging with busters. The Crip cop still didn't pull up, nigga. Got niggas from East Coast in his set trying to come get this fade. Niggas scared to pull up in his hood. Big you at Crenshaw in sweats every day. Don't carry burners, nigga. And this nigga scared to get that fade, nigga. Got marked out on the side of the house. You seen it.
Yep.
But I guess that's who you feel comfortable around. Busted. And
And
as far as him calling us busters, you gotta prove me a buster, nigga.
man,
You know
super.
what I'm saying? It ain't been done yet, so you gotta be a bad mother to even ever believe that you see something like that coming from the Don, nigga.
But
It'll be a
dude,
gang war before that happened, nigga.
I really believe he's doing it because his counterparts, which is CS2 back and 600, they ain't caught no fades. He was a dude that been calling out fades on the internet for years and ain't caught not one squabble. Yet he gonna sit here and tell somebody to go do this and he's about that, bro. I don't believe you. I don't believe in Santa Claus, bro. I don't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in that, bro. I don't believe in that. You believe in Santa Claus, bro. You sitting with niggas right there on the table that it's their actions has been evident. Never caught a fade, ain't really who they say they is, and they running from all kind of issues. He said, I'm running from bro, I'm running from an issue. You have no idea what you're talking about.
At all. You know what I'm saying?
He don't even
But
know.
look,
Go ahead,
but
bro.
that's the second time he done got in somebody else's business, nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got business over there that you need to take care of. Putting yourself in the situations you wasn't even there for, you weird ass nigga. On the
Lying.
internet fronting about places and situations that happen, and your homies talking about, nigga, why is you using their name and you wasn't even there, nigga?
Wow.
Fucking weirdo.
So
You's a
dude,
fraud.
he
Niggas
he
have,
wa-
yeah.
he one of them fake, he one of them, oh, I was there but wasn't really there. Like he one of them CS2 back niggas that create the story and put himself at the story.
Yeah, he in the right place right now.
Oh,
But
he
look,
plagiarizing.
enough about that weirdo Aunt Buffet, right? The gargoyle, the St. Andrews Park gargoyle, the mascot, right? We got another
Ooh,
super chat. And
man, let's get it. I'll get into
go
that
ahead.
right now, brother. Salute to everybody that's with the super chats, man. We got a Taylor Gang $2 super chat. Young and equals Young Pork Butt Jr. Wow. Man, anything and everything that is given to the Damu Kiwe conversations is highly appreciated. Taylor Gang, we appreciate everything that you give us. Salute to you, your family, and your tribe, brother.
All right, we got some that's gonna take us to a whole nother vibe. After hearing about them kids, we will be playing that for y'all. Might do a documentary, you know what I'm saying, a short documentary so nobody forgets that man is innocent until proven guilty. And no matter what, we ain't gonna allow y'all to erase history and rewrite history. Like the time and sacrifices spent with those kids, the impact with those kids don't exist because your slave master said it don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Big U, let them know about us, man. Can we get a
Yeah,
drop
shout
before you
out.
go for Damu Kiwe conversations real quick?
Damu Kiwe conversation. The only place you gonna get it is only place.
Can we get a
Yeah,
drop
shout
before you
out.
go for Damu Kiwe conversations real quick?
Damu Kiwe conversation. The only place you gonna get it is only.
The only place you gonna get it. Now I understand why. Now I understand why. I hope y'all do. You know what I'm saying? We're finna get into this content. TrapLore Ross and his documentary on draws. Let's get into this, right? Oh, we gonna break this shit down. Oh, and we got Scanless video. So I hope y'all ready to hang out for about 3 hours because we definitely getting into it. The dark downfall of Big U, LA's most dangerous Crip. I remember somebody else was looking at Big U in that light. I think I got that clip. We'll play that a little later. But let's get into this, man. We got mountaineers talking about.
If you want uncut and extended versions of my videos, go to patreon.com/TrapLore Ross. Also, you can now watch my new drops on Spotify, so go search me there. Here's the video. For decades, Los Angeles has been notorious for its gangs. The original home to the Crips and Bloods that spread all over America. The gangsters that run the streets there have a dangerous level of power and influence, and the city's politics are not to be trifled with. When many celebrities and rappers come to Los Angeles, if they want to navigate the streets safely, they need to check in.
They have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in. You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way.
Checking in means to get in touch with a local gang, sometimes paying them for the privilege before arrival to ensure that you're safe in the streets there. It's part protection, part extortion, because for those who don't check in and pay the toll, they might just find themselves getting attacked by the very gangsters that they had a connection with. One of the most infamous advocates of checking in is Big U, real name Eugene Henley Jr. He's been accused of being the leader of the notorious Rollin 60s faction of the neighborhood Crips. And if you were planning to come to LA, you might have thought about checking in with him.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in, oh well. Just gonna check your ass out. We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
Big U has ran the streets of LA for decades, doing double-digit stretches in the penitentiary and developing a feared reputation as one of the city's most connected gangsters. But to the public, Big U presents a different persona, one of a reformed ex-gangster turned community activist. He started developing Options, a community-focused non-profit organization with a mission to keep kids out of the streets. Part of the GRID program, Developing Options claims that their mission is to decrease gang activity and to empower the community to strive for a safer, thriving environment for our youth. Big U would solicit donations on behalf of his non-profit and seemingly put as much back into the community as he had taken, being seen doing food drives and providing equipment and workouts for the local youths to keep them out of trouble, even coaching and commissioning for the Crenshaw Rams youth football team. Clearly, Big U was such a supportive coach in football that his own son was actually drafted into the NFL for his home team, the LA Chargers.
So this is fact. All that shit them rats talking about that ain't from our community. I don't care how many turkeys you passed out. I don't care how many backpacks you passed out. Nigga, I know you don't care about them kids. That's why we don't give a fuck about what you say in our community. Well, I guess that this fat, sloppy body, gargoyle looking ass, beetle looking ass nigga do, but he's a nobody. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot rewrite history. Irrelevant. This nigga killed the Pope tomorrow, nigga. Hypothetically speaking, you can't take that away from him. Two things can be true at the same time. He could care about it, kids, understand the importance of being in those kids' life, and had a situation where him and the Pope was fucking the same bitch, so he boop-bopped them or knocked them down. You niggas want to erase a nigga whole shit like thou is without sin. You niggas love to see a black man crumble because when you look in the mirror, you don't find that same strength. I heard the nigga Aunt Hefe said, I ain't never claimed to be a role model. So we know what type of example you're setting for your daughter and your child, or the example that you're not setting, should I say. There's levels to this shit, man. Start valuing what you got in your community that's positive and stop trying to erase and demonize leaders within our community.
A connection that had him and his father rubbing shoulders with music's biggest celebrities like Drake. But according to a recent criminal complaint, beneath the surface, Big U's persona is much darker than he'd want you to think, because he's recently been accused of embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from developing options, not just allegedly taking the money, but using the charity as a vehicle to extort famous rappers and athletes and transferring the money to himself. But the financial crimes he's accused of are only the tip of the iceberg, as the criminal complaint would reveal that Big U was heard in private conversations recorded on wiretaps, that he was the only gangster from his generation still having people killed, and that he was willing to murder anyone who disrespected him. And according to that criminal complaint, these weren't just threats, as Big U is accused of murdering one of his son's childhood friends, a former football prospect turned rapper who he had personally coached, with the indictment alleging that Big U drove to Las Vegas on his daughter's birthday to kill the young man for wasting studio time and recording a Big U diss song. As dark as this sounds, reading between the lines of the criminal complaint suggests that this is just the tip of the iceberg, with other information hinting towards Big U having been connected to a number of high-profile murders in the hip-hop community, including Nipsey Hussle and Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab. The insane details about the double life of this notorious LA gangster might be news to some people, but in the Los Angeles podcast community, this has been an open secret for quite some time, with other street figures who have been around Big U jumping on the microphone and speculating on the eventual outcome of this street drama for years now. Podcasts which I too have appeared on myself numerous times, actually meeting several of the people involved.
Where my pickle people at?
Popeyes has gone full pickle. You got your pickle glaze
Let's
sandwich.
in this case over the years, putting me right in the middle of the story.
So I'm here to let you know as a man, you's a for that. See how it feels to really be in front of the people you talking about and playing with?
No, I hear it.
It feel your, I hear
He does that all the time.
No, he don't. No, he don't.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Man, that dude get caught in certain places. He know it. He in certain places. Why you get up and go to Chicago? Yeah, boy.
So today, I'm going to risk it all and tell you everything I know about the secret inner workings of LA's street politics, the podcasters that have predicted this crackdown for years, the streets that have known about it for decades, but in 2025, for the first time, the feds have revealed for the whole world to see the bombshell allegations against Big U that triggered the downfall of LA's most notorious Rollin 60s Crip.
Fast forward 6 months. Big U gets arrested, this is hypothetically, for these acts.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, that interview becomes completely fair game and it's an important historical record and like we...
Fast forward 6 months and Big U gets arrested for these acts. And y'all think that this Adam Grand Mason didn't know and wasn't working with CS2 back in ensuring this investigation went the way that it went, allowing these lies and slander and incriminating evidence on his platform? Huh. And this fat sloppy body ass nigga couldn't wait to bow down to his slave master. Nigga, you didn't even get a check for that.
all have to look at it and say, oh my God, loose cannon, I'm so sorry. We all misjudged you. You're a fucking genius. You were telling the truth the whole time.
FBI says that South LA crime boss Eugene Big U Henley fronted a wide-ranging mafia-like criminal enterprise.
And the Department of Justice also accusing him of murdering an aspiring rapper in 2021. Investigators say Henley is one of 18 members of the Rollin 60s Crips charged in the federal complaint.
He has maintained the image of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture.
Justice for them.
When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. But if you don't check it in, oh well, check your out. We're gonna check you in, all right.
So you just refusing to pay your bill?
Yeah, I'll pay you. I'm just not gonna allow you to videotape me.
I was bagging my victims.
Closets.
Yeah, I was bagging
dark places.
Everything behind me, you know, kidnapping people, prison.
Hey, that nigga was at a low in the feds. He didn't have too much of a motherfucking record. Second of all, I'm 1,000-0. I guarantee you, he ain't 1,000-0, nigga. Third of all, he don't dictate the terms of engagement after he done disrespected a gangster. Where the fuck you weirdos get that from? I holler at her in the streets, nigga, South Central LA. So put your pom-poms down, little nigga. You niggas be cheerleading like hoes.
And all that stuff. I had a crew we used to kidnap. That's what we did. We had a crew called the Body Snatchers.
Investigators say that he painted himself as an entertainment executive who's been giving back to the community with various charities, but they say Henley is a violent criminal.
Boy, you is a... I'm telling you, you gotta stop!
Funding a South LA-based charity, developing options. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Hey, Nick, what you got?
Justice for them. They don't really with us until it's a problem. Then they call it, like Quando Rondo.
Yo, I'm so glad you're my friend, because all your options go to jail, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Before I turn myself in, I don't even know what to say.
Wait, that is DNA test in my brother's nails.
Okay, so, ooh, that's bad work.
About Big U's alleged body, maybe?
Huh? The only way y'all know that is because you is the police, man.
I'm not talking about no. Didn't I tell you he's a dummy? Rewind.
Listen to this. Y'all forgetting that?
Hey, Nick, what you got?
Justice for them. They don't really with us until it's a problem. Then they call it, like Quando Rondo.
Yo, I'm so glad you're my friend, because all your options go to jail, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm so glad you're my friend, because all your ops just go to jail.
Before I turn myself in, I don't even know what to say.
Wait, that is DNA test in my brother's nails.
They said that Big U DNA was in her brother's nails. Consistent slander of this man's name. Defamation of his character and his brand. Say he went to trial right now and beat everything. Blue trial, hung jury on some, beat all. He's not even charged for the murder. They utilized the murder as an overt act as part of the RICO. But he is not charged for 187 or murder for hire or this like dirt indictment is done. Vegas ain't charged him for that. And then not only are they utilizing this as an overt act, but they allowed their informants who's been narrating and writing down the whole script to this investigation publicly, dripping information after information after information about crimes on the internet about Big U. And young and Hefe over there with some niggas that's on the internet talking about another nigga and their crimes. Open cases. You bitch ass nigga. You's a rat, nigga. What gangster bull with that, nigga? You ain't no motherfucking gangster. You compromised, nigga. Let's go.
Okay, so, ooh, that's bad work.
About Big U's alleged body, maybe?
Huh? The only way y'all know that is because you is the police, gang. Well, I'm not talking about no.
Didn't I tell you he's a dummy? Rewind.
To understand the predicament that Big U faces today, being accused of leading one of LA's most notorious gangs, we have to go all the way back to the start to understand how these gangs, and Big U, ended up running the streets of LA. Like many black families during the mid-1900s, Big U's parents were part of the so-called Great Migration, where African Americans moved from the southern states to the northern states to escape the Jim Crow laws and look for a better life. They were originally from Mississippi before making their way north to Chicago. In Chi-Town, Big U's father would allegedly get affiliated with one of the original infamous gang leaders turned revolutionaries, Jeff Fort, co-founder of one of the earliest major black street gangs in America, the almighty Black Peastone Nation, cementing an early gang influence in the Henley family all the way back then. Big U's parents would ultimately get separated during their time in Chicago, and in 1966, his mother would move to Los Angeles shortly before his birth. The family settled in an area known as South Central, this being the area where most of the early black residents of LA would settle down. More specifically, they would stay around 81st and Hoover, and according to Big U, it was here where he would first begin to rep the Crips. Crips, the gang which was founded in South Central around 1969, around 3 years after Big U was born. Founded by Raymond Washington and Craig Craddock, the Crips then spread further west by Tukey Williams, who would found the West Side Crips.
Because in the area where we grew up at, we grew up over there, was already seeing Crip and was already seeing Hoover in it, and it meant something different.
Big U had a very large family tree who would all move to LA, and the majority of them would eventually settle near Slauson and Arlington, to an area that would eventually become associated with the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips. But at the time, there would be earlier gangs.
We got here, the homies wasn't here yet, and then Van Ness Park didn't have no structure, nothing. And I think Bunchy, Big Bunchy was from Fruittown Brim. So it was like Fruittown.
Hey, Frutas. Let's get back to the content. I just had to do that for the sound block. You know what I'm saying? Shout out 5-4 Fruittown Brim. If you know, you know. You probably heard of them as Rolling 50 Brims. Let's go.
Brims was in Van Ness Park. The 60s was on the verge of being formed, like it was just West Side Crips. And then it was West Side Crips and it was neighborhood Crips. And the neighborhood Crips was like down the line on the other side, like on Van Ness, like more towards where eventually like the hood took over. It was neighborhood Crips and West Side Crips.
This neighborhood is not only famous for being the home of the Rollin 60s, but also for being one of the main locations where the classic movie Boys in the Hood was filmed. Growing up, Big U would first become part of a small local clique from the immediate neighborhood called the AG, or Arlington Gang. Led by Big U's cousin Chili Capone, the group would eventually merge as part of the larger Rollin 60s, who became infamous around the city of LA.
We was at every party, we was at every club, we knew where every function we was there. And it was funny because dudes would be like, where y'all from? And we from the AG. They're like, man, what's that? We're like, man, it's the AG, man, ain't no what's that. Then it's like, well, where is that at? Man, it's on Slauson and Arlington. Oh, well, y'all from the 60s. All right, fuck it, man, what is it, a problem? And then they would go from there.
Big U would get into trouble with the law from a young age, and already as a kid during the 70s, he claimed to have run with a car robbing crew, eventually getting sent to juvenile detention and spending a period of time on the run from whatever he'd done in LA and going back to live in Chicago with his father. But some years later, in 1979, one of the longest and bloodiest gang wars in LA history would start between the Rollin 60s and their former allies, the 8-Tray Gangster Crips. Sometime later during the early 80s, Big U's cousin and the leader of their AG clique, Chili Capone, would sadly be killed. Now, the more matured Big U would return to Los Angeles to seek vengeance, with Big U saying that at this time he graduated from fighting to guns and he believed that a gun could get you anywhere you need to be in life. Standing at 6'2", Big U was an intimidating sight even without a gun, and he would still excel at fighting, which was the main way that the early gangs would settle their differences. One of the infamous places where this settling of scores would take place was at the World on Wheels skate rink, which was far away from the Rollin 60s hood, but where the members would nevertheless go to make their presence known. One particularly big brawl would make the Rollin 60s infamous throughout LA County took place on August 1986 during a Run DMC concert in the Long Beach area, where Rollin 60s would, according to Big U, attend purely to start a fight and establish their dominance. The fight would injure dozens of people and cause the LA Palladium to cancel Run DMC's next concert in fear of escalating gang tensions. During the 80s, the county jail would also become a familiar place for Big U as he was racking up some pretty serious charges, which according to the criminal complaint even included multiple first-degree murder charges.
Hey, soldier, I don't know where you from, but you sound real naive. Why isn't Big U's son not supporting the team financially? That's how most NFL players get back to their community. Well, he does support them, but it doesn't take just money. Are you slow? It takes time. You didn't hear the man said him and Big U had to pick these kids up, drive miles and miles, taking them home and back to school and back to practice and back home. You can't just throw money at kids. Ignorant. It's time. It's love. It's care. Gelling and building relationships with them. So while you're trying to brush it off for your own fucking objective, why don't you go spend time while you're electing other people? What's wrong with your feet? What's wrong with your money and your support? Practical application of ideas seems to evade some people who don't live in the real world. Get off the internet and go contribute. Talking about why don't they do it? He does contribute money. He just contributed $20,000 on Christmas present. And he contributed time. But with that kind of job where you're training, you're practicing, you got all these other obligations, you don't have as much time. Big U spent his life with these kids, having them in his house overnight. 12 and 14 kids that are not his. Why don't you do that, since it's that easy?
And attempted murder of a peace officer, but it seemed that these charges back in these days would never stick. But his time in jail would also help him further spread his reputation as a fearless fighter and a charismatic leader. According to the FBI, it was during the 80s when Big U would rise to a prominent position in the Rollin 60s, earning a reputation of a violent enforcer who was willing to kill. One article about Big U stated that he became the lead man for the Rollin 60s and got shot 7 times in the process. And during this time in the late 80s, this was when the crack epidemic was beginning to reach its peak.
Today, there's a new epidemic, smokable cocaine, otherwise known as crack. It is an explosively destructive and often lethal substance which is crushing its users. It is an uncontrolled fire.
Big U and the Rollin 60s would also partake in the lucrative drug trade. They would even begin to move dope from LA to other cities such as Minneapolis, Atlanta, and Chicago, where Big U would use his leadership skills to set up shops and take over street corners and influencing other out-of-state sets that banged under the banner of the Rollin 60 Crips too. This would also be a time when Big U would get his first experiences in the rap industry, as a rapper called Poppa LQ would ask Big U to manage him, thinking that while Big U had no experience in the industry, he did have the quality.
Shout out to Pop LQ, Quan, the first one that got Big U in the management.
To be a manager and the respect of the streets. Big U's friend would also ask him to help managing a young, promising Rolling 60s rapper called Corrupt, who's now known for such West Coast classics as Seawalk and We Can Freak It, as well as being one half of the duo The Dog Pound with Daz Dillinger, the group founded by Snoop Dogg. Big U had also become a family man at this point, and according to himself, he was beginning to be one foot in and one foot out of the hustle game. But unfortunately for him, he would become wanted by the police, and in December 1991, he was arrested as part of a sting operation after attempting to rob 33 pounds of cocaine from an undercover agent, with Big U pulling a gun and attempting to rob the fake plug, leading to the cops that were watching nearby to rush in and bust him. For this, he was given a monster sentence of 23 years, with news reports at the time describing him as a leader, if not the top man of the Rollin 60s. This meant that during much of the golden years of hip-hop, Big U was behind bars, but he would spend his time inside continuing to develop his skills as a fighter and a leader. One story even circulated that he had apparently knocked somebody's eyeball out of their socket during a prison fight. Photos of Big U behind bars would circulate online as the years went by. During a Breakfast Club interview, Big U would even say that he was running the drug trade in the prison yard during this time.
Because I basically took over the whole little drug trade on the yard because I had money. So I came.
Can't stop kids from using shirts to wipe their.
This is very
I bought all the guards who was bringing in.
But when he wasn't squabbling or selling drugs, apparently he was knuckling down and trying to also find positive influences behind the wall. During his long stint inside, he would meet people who would inspire him to evolve intellectually, such as Michael Harry O. Harris, a powerful LA figure who allegedly played a key role in helping Suge Knight found Death Row Records, and also played a part in the career of Denzel Washington. As a result, Big U would begin to read and write, as well as studying subjects like theology, as he would later recount in interviews. Meanwhile, on the outside, Corrupt would keep Big U's name alive in his music, shouting him out in songs like one of his biggest hits, We Can Freak It. Big U would also keep losing people close to him to the streets while he was inside, like his brother Dwayne Dupree, who worked as a bodyguard for the Dog Pound duo of Corrupt and Daz Dillinger and was sadly killed as gunmen opened fire outside of a recording studio. But Big U would eventually end up only doing 13 years in prison, getting out in 2004 at 37 years old, conveniently right as the Rollin 60s had become, quote, the largest black criminal street gang in the city of Los Angeles. However, Big U wouldn't lose sight of those positive influences that he had gleaned behind bars, and he decided to reinvent himself as a community advocate, starting his non-profit called Developing Options. Their website would claim that Big U started the organization because he wanted to provide the youth of his neighborhood the support that he didn't get when he was growing up. In 2025, the program claimed to have served over 6,000 people while having partnerships with hundreds of agencies. The website even boasts a 90% reduction in community gang violence, and the program has some major supporters, such as perhaps the most famous Crip in the world, Snoop Dogg. But Big U would also keep building his career in the music industry. After getting released, Corrupt would introduce him to the head of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, who would help Big U financially to get back on his feet and take him under his his wing as a mentor. The two became without a doubt the most respected, or at least the most feared duo that the hip-hop industry.
Hey, real quick, let's show Soldier, you're out of here. So, oh, my bad, this an echo chamber point out one thing I said that is slanderous or not logical. You didn't hear him say nothing about money, but you're steadily talking about donations. They're talking about time. Having to drive the kids regular, not a coach. That's not logical. Are you slow? You're talking about what you did somewhere else. Well, where do you live at? Is it the same thing? AAU? We're talking about a high school where all of the kids in the community where the highest gang murders have been for decades. Gang murders, not murders. Murders because of gang affiliation and gang business. Keeping them out of the street. They have nothing. And while you're talking about that, the city will not allow them to play for a whole year. So with all of the things that you believe are reasonable and will be applicable to their situation, how does that help them play in a year where the city said they don't qualify this year? A whole year. Idle time is the devil's playhouse. And these kids are now going to be outside in the midst of all of this, and you're talking about what his son should do, what this could do, and these people is telling you they're ineligible. I don't give a fuck if Donald Trump came right now, the president. They won't be playing until next year. So how is any of that applicable between now and next year? And how we don't even know if it's going to be applicable after that. So that's what's irrational and illogical.
Industry had ever seen, but Big U's ferocious attitude to the music industry would mirror Suge's approach, and unfortunately, this meant that for the artists that entered Big U's orbit, some would have runaway success, but others would seemingly suffer sudden and tragic downfalls, which of course brings us to the tragic story of Nipsey Hussle. After getting out of prison, notorious Rollin 60s neighborhood Crip, Big U, would learn how to play hardball in the music industry from none other than Suge Knight. The infamous blood who had ruled the West Coast rap game with an iron fist was rumored to have used murder and extortion tactics to get ahead in the music biz. From his violent altercations in the lead up to the death of NWA's Eazy-E to the rumored incident where Vanilla Ice was allegedly dangled off a balcony and forced to sign over his lucrative royalties, eventually though, the law and his enemies would catch up with Suge Knight's hardline tactics and crack down on his operation. But by the time Suge Knight's downfall had begun, Big U was already in the game and decided to spread his wings and do his own thing. Apparently whilst inside prison, Big U, along with his right-hand man, Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw, founded an independent record label, Unique Music, in 1996. Big U would use the label to scout potential up-and-coming musical talent, and his deep street connections would lead him to the paths of some of LA's most legendary rappers. It turned out that Big U's nephew actually knew a young, talented Rollin 60s rapper who went by the name Nipsey Hussle. Big U would begin to help Nipsey using his many industry contacts, ultimately landing him a major spotlight with a verse on Tupac's 2006 posthumous album, Pac's Life. Nip featured with Young Dre and Tupac himself on the song International, which gave Nipsey's career a massive boost.
Him and Big Draws put that together, and LT Hutton. They really had a resume at that time to justify.
So for all you Nip fans that anti-Big U and say that all y'all Nip fans saying Big U didn't make Nipsey Hussle, Big U didn't do nothing, Nipsey did everything on himself. You just heard it from the horse's mouth. Recipes to Nip Hussle the Great. I didn't have the resume at the time, but Big U and Hutton gave me the chance to do a feature on Tupac album, which gave me the confidence to see that this is real now. Because I got to see the CD with my name next to Tupac's. You dudes really got selective memory. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
But he gave me a shot. And a lot of that was based on the relationship he had with Draws and Steve.
And I remember buying the physical CD, seeing Tupac featuring Nipsey Hussle on the back of it. That was huge for me.
Big U later reposted a clip from a Diverse Mentality documentary on Nipsey, along with a caption saying that it was an honor to give him the shot. Big U was playing a major role in Nipsey's come-up, leading Nipsey to drop his first real single and music video titled Bullets Ain't Got No Names in 2006. Nipsey would get support from Big U through the creation of an entire Bullets Ain't Got No Name full-length mixtape series, but story has it that Nipsey wanted to leave a bad deal that he'd got into with Big U's unique label.
Now, rumor has it, so this is what they slander niggas' names with now. Rumors. These niggas know better than Wendy Williams. And you niggas bite on the rumors. Is you niggas in South Central? Do you know what the facts is? We don't deal with rumors. Bitches deal in rumors, nigga. Go look at your T-blog, nigga, and put a skirt on. Pull your G-string and thong out your ass. Rumors listen to ass niggas.
So I signed it was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Big U, on the other hand, has explained in the Drink Champs podcast that he stopped managing Nipsey after a promotional tour when police discovered drugs in one of their vehicles. And although someone would take the charges, Nipsey and others began acting differently towards Big U, which he interpreted as a breakdown in trust.
Radiator cap off, took the apart, stuck us in, I can't remember where we was for 3 days. They took the and scanned it from the router to the tutor, found what they wanted on it, put it back together, gave it to us. I flew back home. When I fly home, we get hit. I get hit at home. They had 21 people. They think they got him. Anyway, make a long story short, he ended up turning himself in, take the case off all of us. He get life, right, for the drugs. When that happened, my team is acting weird. So I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Nip. Man, get a paperwork from Sony so they can see that we leasing all this.
Little Bo Peep used the smart buying tools on Amazon Business. She's not so little anymore.
They acting weird. So, me, I'm still kind of like, hey, I'm hot, hot and heavy, but, I'm like, I can't with y'all. So you never see me on the tour no more.
And that's when the problem was?
No problem never happened. Okay. We didn't have a problem.
Okay.
Wasn't nobody making no money.
But particularly after Big U's arrest, many have theorized that it may have been Big U who was using Nipsey's tours as a cover to smuggle drugs to different cities, and this was possibly making Nipsey nervous and looking for.
Hey, Bank Link say they got Big U linked with Sue Surf RICO all the way in Jersey. No, they don't. He went out there, they seen him, so his name came in the thing because he's supposed to be the worldwide leader of the 6-0. They have him doing no crime. The head dude on that RICO, shout out to Freak, right? I spoke with him. Big U is not in their case, was not indicted on their case, nothing. If you're under investigation and you're blood and I pull up in your town on legal business and they see me shaking with you and in the club with the stripper bitches, they get pictures that's going to be big because you're under investigation, but because I don't break the law, they're going to look into me. They might mention my name to try to tie you in, especially when they're using RICO to try to tie in as gang ties, right? But being a gang member in itself is not a crime. I got gang tats. Why they let me out of jail? Shit whacked out, all kind of shit, right? Why they let me out of jail if being a member is a crime? No. There's members who don't break the law anymore. That's not a crime. Now, if you're part, had Big U been moving work, setting up licks, or getting niggas knocked down, I'm quite sure he would have been a part of that. With those dudes, he would have been a part of that. But I got the paperwork also. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't found enough reason to read through all that paperwork based on rumors. You know what I'm saying? You don't allow these weirdos who don't know what the fuck they talking about to dictate the content. We control the narrative. Let's go.
Ways out.
I think Big U was using the tour bus, Nipsey's tour bus, to at least sometime or possibly.
Now, Al Prophet, you're from Detroit, you're in LA. How do you think that Big U was using Nipsey's tour bus in there? You got some intel? How do you know that it wasn't somebody else? Or how do you know it wasn't Nipsey? Now that you got Big U on this case, Al Prophet, you're running a whole narrative, and it's a bad look. You're a mountaineer about the Caucasus Mountains, steadily adamant about implicating this man in crimes based upon your speculations, trying to convict this man in public consensus based on speculations, when everything alleged in the indictment specifically said these are only allegations. These are not facts. And I told you that when we went live. I guess you forgot that, or you got a low understanding of the law, right? You said numbers is your thing. Well, law ain't my thing, but as a criminal, they kind of go hand in hand when you have that much experience with the law. And the confrontation clause guaranteed by the 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution holds that everything alleged in that indictment is only alleged in allegations until it survives the crux of cross-examination in front of a jury or a bench trial. Because that's when you'll be able to see whether it stands as fact, whether it stands as the government is providing it to this grand jury that indicted it. But, hey, I get it. Black guy, he's guilty. Let's go.
We do drug drop-offs, pick up money, and it was making Nipsey hot. He was seeing himself about to take off. He wanted no parts.
Whatever the case, after the two stopped working together, Big U wanted back some of his studio equipment so his son could also use them to record music, something which apparently angered Nipsey.
That's when they got upset, and he made the song. I don't rap. That
song never came out.
I'm with you.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out. It wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out. And I mean, I don't rap, I scrap.
Disagreements would lead to Nipsey making a diss song about Big U, a song titled You Don't Got a Clue from his 2010 mixtape The Marathon, where Nipsey got some things off his chest, rapping how somebody...
At US Bank, we think the best relationships should feel easy.
Likely Big U doesn't have a clue about what they want to do for Nip's career, saying that he's not going to stop for them and that he doesn't want somebody controlling him, rapping how he came up tough, so he was never looking at Big U for a solution to his problems, and suggesting that his former team never really helped him push his career forward. Nip would rap F the middleman, and he would end his verse saying don't expect any favors from him because he wasn't given any favors. According to Loose Cannon, who's probably not the most reliable narrator, Big U would confront Nipsey about the track and challenge him to a fight where...
So you just refuse to pay him?
I'm
just not going to allow you to videotape.
I got an issue with that, right? He said he not doing nobody no favors because nobody done favors for him. That's some fake ass shit to me. Because we just heard the man out his own mouth talking about Big U created this opportunity for him. He didn't even have a catalog or the credentials, right? See, some niggas forget how they got to where they went in their arrogance. Let's go, though.
Yes, I paid.
I was bagging my victims. Closets. Yeah, I was bagging dark places. Everything behind me. You know, kidnapping people, prison, and all that stuff. I had a crew we used to kidnap. That's what we did. We had a crew called the Body Snatchers.
Investigators say that he painted himself as an entertainment executive who's been giving back to the community.
Hold on, I done went back. Let's go back up. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Excel at fighting, which was the main way that the early gangs would settle their differences. One of the infamous places neighborhood the support that he didn't get when he was growing up.
The support he didn't get when he was growing up.
Would lead him to the paths of some of LA's most legendary rappers. It turned out that Big U's nephew actually knew a young, talented Rollin 60s rapper who went by the name Nipsey Hussle. Big U would begin to help Nipsey using his many industry contacts, ultimately landing him a major spotlight with a verse on Tupac's 2006 posthumous album, Pac's Life. Nip featured with Young Dre and Tupac himself on the song International, which gave Nipsey's career a massive boost.
Him and Big Draws put that together, and LT Hutton. They really had a resume at that time to justify it, but he gave me a shot. And a lot of that was based on the relationship he had with Draws and Steve.
And I remember buying the physical CD, seeing Tupac featuring Nipsey Hussle on the back of it. That was huge for me.
Big U later reposted a clip from a Diverse Mentality documentary on Nipsey, along with a caption saying that it was an honor to give him the shot. Big U was playing a major role in Nipsey's come-up, leading Nipsey to drop his first real single and music video titled Bullets Ain't Got No Names in 2006. Nipsey would get support from Big U through the creation of an entire Bullets Ain't Got No Name full-length mixtape series. But story has it that Nipsey wanted...
So, not only did Draws put him in the game with equipment to record that Draws had got from Suge Knight. Shout out to Suge, you know what I'm saying? And he went looking for an artist, and he's saying that Big U's nephew introduced him and told him Nipsey Hussle was the guy he was looking for. For those who don't know which one of Big U nephews that was, he's also a rapper. That's somebody out today called my homeboy. Talk to him every day now. Almost every day. Tiny Draws. You know what I'm saying? Tiny Draws was rapping, but he knew he wasn't ready. So instead of being selfish, he tell Big U, this nigga got it, and he ready. This nigga put him on a song with Hutton on Tupac album. Then, besides putting him on that feature, which is a hell of a look, especially for the genre of music that Nipsey made, that's the demographic and so many similarities. And he carried and did what he was supposed to do. Then Big U gets him a deal through Unique Music, Epic Sony, being the urban Sony Urban, for Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 1, 2, and 3. And then a nigga later comes back talking about, I ain't doing nobody no favors because niggas ain't did me no favors. You bias ass niggas can say what you want. I'm one of Nipsey's biggest fans. But that just don't sound like it's accurate. And it sounds like a nigga was feeling himself and forgot the favors that he did get along the way. It's all right, though. Let's go.
Wanted to leave a bad deal that he'd got into with Big U's Unique label.
So I signed him to it. It was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Big U, on the other hand, has explained in the Drink Champs podcast that he stopped managing Nipsey after a promotional tour when police discovered drugs in one of their vehicles. And although someone would take the charges, Nipsey and others began acting differently towards Big U, which he interpreted as a breakdown in trust.
Radiator cap off, took the apart, stuck us in, I can't remember where we were for 3 days. They took the and scanned it from the router to the tutor, found what they wanted on it, put it back together, gave it to us. I flew back home. When I fly home, we get hit. I get hit at home. They had 21 people. They think they got him. Anyway, make a long story short, he ended up turning himself in, take the case off all of us. He get life, right, for the drugs. When that happened, my team is acting weird. So I'm looking at Steve, I'm looking at Nip, get a paperwork from Sony so they can see that we leasing all this. They acting weird. So, you know, me, I'm still kind of like, you know, hey, I'm hot, you know, hot and heavy, but, you know, I'm like, I can't with y'all. So you never see me on the tour no more.
And that's when the problem was?
No problem never happened. Okay. We didn't have a problem.
Okay.
Wasn't nobody making no money.
Right.
But particularly after Big U's arrest, many have theorized that it...
Big U said at that point, they weren't making no money. So now you saying they never got no money on the deal? No, obviously they got a budget for music production, paying for features, marketing, etc. But he's saying they hadn't recouped. And if you look at the numbers, Nipsey hadn't recouped. And a lot of people say that 360 deals is bad. But you don't hear these people going at Lyle Cohen. You don't hear these people going at the Mozzie at Empire with these 360 deals. But Big U gets 30% of publishing, which is mechanical rights, right? Owning the masters for only 10 years, right? When they still haven't recouped on these first albums. And Nipsey Hussle still has display rights, which means the right to use his image, which means merch, where Nipsey Hussle made the most of his money. With the Crenshaw stuff, then when him and Big U fell out about that, the Marathon clothing. But Big U got him in a bad deal? How so? Big U ain't profiting shit off of a 3 mixtape deal with Sony Epic. No profits. We're still in the hole. Nipsey profited even after that with his deal with Puma, because they're able to utilize his display right, utilize his image to brand Puma, the styles of shoes that they're using. Lyle Cohen took that from a lot of artists. Jay-Z took that from a lot of artists. I know a lot of y'all don't understand contracts and music recording contracts, but 30% of management is steep. Most management deals is 10 to 20%. But what y'all not remembering is it's not just Big U managing them. You got Big U getting 15% of the 30, and then you got a Jewish guy, Steve Lobel, who is very well known in the industry, loved, and I don't know if y'all know, but in that industry, you get a Jewish person walk in a room, it's a different vibe than a big black 6'3", 260-pound gorilla-looking nigga that's coming in there from the streets. He could get in the rooms and doors that a nigga like Big U or me or Yael can't get into. That's just the way of America. So you're getting both of them. So they got 15% apiece of only the publishing for 10 years. They didn't make no money off of that. No profits. But he got a bad deal. It's nasty work. Just the way that people portray, not people, them people portray situations with such negative connotations. Let's go.
It may have been Big U who was using Nipsey's tours as a cover to smuggle drugs to different cities, and this was possibly making Nipsey nervous and looking for ways out.
I think Big U was using the tour bus, Nipsey's tour bus, to at least sometime or possibly do drug drop-offs, pick up money, and it was making Nipsey hot. He was seeing himself about to take off. He wanted no parts.
Whatever the case, after the two stopped working together, Big U wanted back some of his studio equipment so his son could also use them to record music, something which apparently angered Nipsey.
That's when they got upset, and he made the song. I don't rap,
that song never came out.
It did come out.
It did come out?
It did come out. I don't know, it wasn't never pushed as a song, but it came out, and I mean, I don't rap, I scrap.
Disagreements would lead to Nipsey making a diss song about Big U, a song titled You Don't Got a Clue from his 2010 mixtape The Marathon, where Nipsey got some things off his chest, rapping how somebody, likely Big U, doesn't have a clue about what they want to do for Nip's career, saying that he's not going to stop for them and that he doesn't want somebody controlling him, rapping how he came up tough so he was never looking at Big U for a solution to his problems, and suggesting that his former team never really helped him push his career forward. Nip would rap F the middleman, and he would end his verse saying don't expect any favors from him because he wasn't given any favors. According to Loose Cannon, who's probably not the most reliable narrator, Big U would confront Nipsey about the track and challenge him to a fight where Nipsey would then supposedly move and dance around Big U so fast that he would leave him exhausted, almost like a scene from an old school action comedy.
And he was like, hey, cuz, is this song about me? So Nipsey stood up or whatever and was like, yeah, cuz it's about you. So he was drinking some water out of a water bottle and he threw it on Nipsey, right? He was like, we're gonna have to go get down or whatever. So he thought Nipsey was gonna back down. Nipsey stood up and was like, okay, cuz, let's go get down. They were just dancing around or whatever like that. He was trying to get Nipsey or whatever, but Nipsey was just moving, dancing and stuff like that. And he couldn't hit Nipsey, so he got tired. So he knew he didn't get Nipsey the way he wanted to get Nipsey, right?
An unsatisfied Big U then allegedly got the whole gang involved, calling Nipsey up to get disciplined and allegedly beating him up before Black Sam fired into the air, stopping the fight, leading to police being called and breaking things up. Wack 100 would later claim that Big U actually knocked Nipsey Hussle out during their fight.
First time they first fall out, when they first got Nipsey signed, Nipsey come back, was a fallout. They went down, there was a fight, rumble happened. I believe Big U knocked Nipsey out. Black Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police sitting right across the street, they see it. They come in, they arrest everybody. Black Sam's on parole.
Now, there's some conflicting reasons circulating for this exact fight. It's been rumored that Nipsey Hussle has a daughter by a mother that was allegedly Big U's niece, or at least a close family friend. There was allegedly an incident circulating in a Reddit post where it was claimed that Nipsey actually beat up another man who had been dating his baby's mother after they split up, with Nip administering this beatdown because the man was apparently Crip.
Switching tax services can be a drag and drop. At H&R Block, switching to us couldn't be quicker or easier.
Creating an unsafe environment for their daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Let me pull it up on the screen for you real quick.
I see a few of them, man. I see we got Big Facts Bitch with the 1999 super chat. We got Deuce, keep your foot on this rat ass neck with the truth. Salute. Then we got Big Facts Bitch, Facts Deuce. We got Big Facts, $1.99 super chat with the $9.99 super chat. Facts Deuce. Then we got another one, $1.99. Should be at least 400 likes. Then we have another one from Big Facts. Get them likes up. You spitting, bro. Salute. Hey, Big Facts. Hey, any and everything that is given to the Damu Kiwe conversation team is highly appreciated. Blessings to you, your family, and your tribe.
Hey, LA Shot Caller be on this shit, right? Let me. Hey, LA Shot Caller, he be trolling motherfuckers too. He vicious, but LA Shot Caller got a lot of common sense too, right? He said they labeled Big U a leader back then of his gang and the gunman in that robbery. So why would Big U say, "I knew I shouldn't have worked for Eddie Boy"? The police is known for lying and putting shit in paperwork. Hey, LA Shot Caller, bro, that's exactly what we said when the Crip cop had jumped up on our live and he was talking about it was a dope case. And I said, bro, have you even read the paperwork? We gonna bring that up this week so we can show how goofy the niggas Aunt Buffet hanging with is, right? We already know they busters. You know what I'm saying? I called Whack out, 3 years ago? He agreed and been ducking ever since. Busted, nigga. That's the type of niggas Aunt running with. So you gonna get stomped out by yourself when them bitch ass niggas run. But anyway, the nigga said it's a dope case. I said, nigga, you ain't even read it. Nigga, this was a robbery. Nigga, these niggas was sticking the niggas up, but it was a sting. Big U got off on the police and took off. The niggas in the car left Big U and Eddie Boy. Them two niggas get caught. Then I was like, well, I know how this go. If you at the police station, the police ain't gonna be worried about the two niggas in the police station that they already got. If you gonna get some leniency, or they gonna kick you, drop a case on you, or you're an informant, they're gonna want the information on the niggas that got away, right? They got these two niggas. They're gonna want the information on those guys. So, bro, that shit was just weird, but good common sense, bro. Appreciate you, your comment, bro.
Daughter, with it being believed that the woman might have even got harmed herself in the scuffle, leading Big U to be furious at Nipsey. Ultimately though, Nipsey and Big U would eventually squash their beef and didn't have any more public animosity in the years that followed. But Nipsey's brother Black Sam seemingly always had an issue with Big U, and apparently this was reciprocated.
And then I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother wasn't the best of friends. You gotta understand, like I'm gonna have friends that my mama ain't gonna like. I'm gonna have friends that my brother's not gonna like. You gonna have people that your people don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Nipsey's Rollin 60s gang ties would be the ultimate liability throughout his career to the very end. A planned private performance in 2010 saw a massive bust on the Rollin 60s members that he was affiliating with.
People under arrest after police raid a nightclub where dozens of members of an LA street gang were partying.
Police received information that gang members of the Rollin 60s, a violent South LA gang, would be holding a private party here at the Platinum Club here in Studio City. So they decided it would be a good time to do a gang sweep. Now take a look. It all went down around 2 in the morning. The Platinum Club was surrounded by dozens of officers. They arrested about 40 people they say are gang members of the gang Rollin 60s. Officers say they learned of the so-called hood party several days before the big event. Now, outside of the club, the marquee had a sign there that said who was headlining the party. They are Nipsey Hussle and Dealmakers International. You can also see the number 6x10. Now, police say that was the secret Rollin 60s gang sign. An officer from North Hollywood was the first to approach the front door of the club, and he says that he was rushed by a group of people inside the club. He called for help, and officers from all areas responded immediately. Now, officers say this gang sweep will clearly cripple the illegal activities of the Rollin 60s gang, at least for a while.
As time went on, Nipsey would do more things that reportedly angered Big U, like bringing Treetop Pyru rapper YG to the Rollin 60s hood for the music video for...
Hold on. Hollywood Shuffler said, I'm at 4709 West Crenshaw. I at Cobby Supreme 1, us TMC. I don't know if that really is Cobby, but if that's Cobby, okay, well, who you dropping the low for? What got you all stressed?
The song Sitches Ain't Bit in 2011. Apparently Nipsey had to fight multiple Rollin 60s after this perceived violation, but this didn't stop his role, and later Nipsey would even return the favour, attending YG's hood to film the music video for I'm a Thug that featured Meek Mill. This was a video that ironically had footage of fellow Rollin 60 Brick Baby getting arrested. But anyway, as Nip's career grew, it seemed that Big U's stance towards Nipsey had softened, and he was showing him respect publicly, with Big U being seen doing a speech in Nipsey's honour in 2018 during an event for his Developing Options non-profit, where rap heavyweights like T.I. and Wiz Khalifa were also in attendance.
Look who came through. Yeah, you know, I got my all black on, man. You know, all black everything. Steve Maniac Lobel, day one right here, you know.
Hey, this is going to be a good part, but before we get to this, hit that like button, man. Y'all over there laying in the bushes and ain't hitting this like button, right? Let me put this back up. I want to show y'all something real quick. We got a question. I guess this comes from the special ed division of the internet. Let's go to this real quick, right? Shout out to the special ed division of the internet. I think this is it. Let's get on this. Boom. Maybe we could bring this up real quick, right? No, that's not it. Hold on. Y'all let them know where they at, bro.
Man, listen, y'all sitting in one of the hottest rooms on Clubhouse and one of the dopest, hottest lives on YouTube. You sitting with Deuce M's the Die and Yael, the Kiwe pop star. the voices of the culture and the West Coast. Damu Kiwe, Conversations.
All right, I wanted to answer this question for the special ed department. So the question was from who? Joe Biden Jr. Oh, he was over there with Aunt Buffet, right? The bozo, right? Do Sam, what female did you put in the trunk at gunpoint? Well, I was never convicted or charged about having no gun, but I was charged for kidnapping. And if you can't see it right there, Sims was acquitted on the kidnapping charge. You illiterate dumb piece of shit. You can just go Google Lamonte Sims. You an illiterate ass bozo over there listening to a federal confidential source, nigga. You niggas, y'all credibility just went to shit. Lamonte Sims versus Fight for 2019 appeal. You weird ass niggas. Lamonte didn't have no gun. Lamonte Sims in the appeal tells you was acquitted by a jury of the kidnapping charge. So you got to do a little bit better and stop listening to these rat ass niggas that y'all look up to. Them bum ass, broke ass niggas in the same situation you in. They just was a lot smarter to manipulate these niggas. This 2025 Crip and shit is watered down, nigga. Y'all got a reject, a dropout Pacoima Paru blood, nigga, calling shots and misdirecting some South Central Crips. Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington turning in their grave, nigga. Monster Cody turning in his grave, nigga. This nigga can't even pull up in his hood, and he sent you niggas on a dummy mission to talk about Do Sims kidnapping a girl at gunpoint and throwing her in the trunk, nigga. Damn y'all goofy, nigga. Same nigga that said, well, I'm going by what the main streets told me. Hearsay and gossip. And every time he just striking out. But hey, what else can he do? You know what I'm saying? At this point, he down bad. Damn that nigga. The rise and fall of Aunt Buffet.
Big U, what up, baby?
Be you and Low Bill.
Sure. You need that. Yeah, that's legendary.
Woo! Remember that. He did what no other rappers do today. He sold his own music. He sold his own music. So when I came along and Steve came along, we had a formula that merged with what he do. But he outworked any artist I've seen. I'm talking about business-wise. I'm not talking about on the mic. Because if you notice, this man is a more professional than 90% of the dudes who are trying to grow to his level. But I'm saying that to our young babies. To a T, he outworked a whole lot of people. And this is the reason why we are giving him the award, the Businessman Award, because he really exudes everything that you need to exercise in business. So let's give this man a hand and clap it up for him. I'm talking about, I came to his house and he lived in all places in A-Tray neighborhood and was really, he really had a mic in his closet and was recording his own self. Remember that.
And at one point, Big U would even Crip walk on stage, and Nipsey would in return honor Big U in his speech, saying how everybody in the hood saw him as a leader.
And see what that turned into, him putting pressure on us to just stay focused, you know, standing in front of us as young dudes from the area. And always, I remember he like, you know, it's not gonna be one room I walk into that my homeboys can't walk into with me. And I always respected and looked up to him as a leader and as somebody that was just a real man. And I love to see everybody out here tonight dressed up, looking good. You know, I think we gotta give him a round of applause as well. And like I said, I love you, bro. We're gonna keep pushing.
Hey, this is a good question. Hey, Bobo Goods or Bobo Goods said, why you put Big U on such a high pedestal? For the same reason Nipsey Hussle just gave up. Because in him, I seen and witnessed his leadership skills. I seen a strong black male figure who didn't take from the kids as much as he gave to the community and kids. I seen when I'm at Crenshaw High School, mothers who were short on rent. The baby dad that left them, single mothers. And he come out his pocket and just give them whatever's in his pocket to assist them in getting their rent paid. I'm on the phone with him when he's teaching these kids how to utilize the sprinklers. Boys. See, for y'all niggas who think putting in work is something and is mesmerized by that, you can't teach me nothing about none of that at all. I taught some of the greatest hogs out my set, some in the 20s and Blackstones too. You understand what I'm saying? I excelled at that. I was a successful gangbanger. I did all of my YA, county, and bid time and excelled, right? Those the lowest of the low, the gangbangers. And I was good at that. But I'm a terrible excuse of a father. Not that I don't want to be in his life, but by me being a great gangbanger means I was in jail a lot. By me being a great criminal means I wasn't there when my son was born till he was 8 and a half, going on 9. Then I'm in his life 2 more years, and then I go back to jail for an assault with GBI, and I do 8 more years. That's 18 years. I wasn't in his life. And for kids in the community whose fathers were similar, Big U stepping in when that wasn't his job. That wasn't his kid. And treating those kids like they were his. Teaching them structure and discipline. Yeah. That's rare as fuck to find in the ghettos and inner cities of the community. The glue. I seen them dealing with the Blackstones. Shout out to the Jungles. I seen them dealing with the VNGs. Shout out to the homie Uno. I seen them dealing with me. Other Damus. On the phone with Melvin Farmer and the A-Tray Gangsters. That's why he joined Damu Kiwe Conversations. So yeah, that's the Big U I was able to experience, brother. Now the Big U in the streets that was putting in work and doing all that, that's generations before me. And I'm quite sure a lot of people in my past would look at me and be like, that nigga was the worst. That nigga is an animal. That nigga's a savage. Right? They'll talk bad about what I did because I wasn't productive for my community. I was the worst. So you gonna have people, that wasn't my experience with Big U. So that's why I put him on such a high pedestal. On top of that, when it come to this West Coast, that nigga made sure that they knew we was standing on business, nigga. You niggas is soft. Let's go. That's what only the soft sheeps are afraid and hate alphas because they're intimidated. Let's get back to the content, man.
Thank y'all.
Nipsey was having massive success.
Dentures, fragile, temporary, and uncomfortable.
Wait, let's go.
Culminating in the release of his critically acclaimed 2018 debut studio album, Victory Lap, where he would even shout out Big U, aka Big Draws.
And I'm eating breakfast.
My shirt drunk, yeah, all that. I've been working. I ain't saved everything, man. Victory Lap, come his phone.
He wasn't gonna save anyway.
I wasn't, but I was gonna change my shirt though. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm working.
We will let y'all hear some music, but you gotta wait to pay for it. Ain't no free no more.
coming.
And you ain't downloading it, we're gonna put a tag. If you steal the music,
we you up.
Coming to your house and putting that
car wash when you got your tent set up. We gonna beat your.
But in March 2019, Nipsey allegedly angered Big U once again by bringing DJ Khaled to the 60s hood and not asking permission. They were there to shoot a music video for Khaled's song Higher that featured Nipsey and John Legend. Allegedly, Big U sent Rollin 60s members to the shoot to cause trouble, causing Nipsey and Khaled to have to finish the shoot in a parking lot. TMZ, on the other hand, claimed from their sources at the video shoot that Nipsey had seemingly received threats on his life before the shoot had even taken place, and that he was apparently prepared with an exceptionally large security team. They would also claim that it was actually during the filming at the parking structure in Inglewood where Nipsey's team were concerned about somebody from the local Bloods coming to kill him. Some people online would also claim that Big U was actually cool with Nipsey at this time, but it was really a bunch of younger Rolling 60s members that just wanted to rob DJ Khaled, causing trouble, with there also being reports of some friction between some Rolling 60s and Inglewood Blood members that might have caused some tension at the shoot. Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, would later seemingly confirm that someone had indeed pressed them at the video shoot, but wouldn't specify exactly who it was.
Not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on it, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, we're gonna know we're gonna crash out behind it. We not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
But whatever the case, only a few days later, Nipsey would tragically be gunned down in front of his Marathon clothing store in the Rollin 60s hood, less than a mile away from Big U's childhood stomping grounds on Arlington Avenue. Nipsey was gunned down by a man named Eric Holder, known in the...
Oh, we're going to get into that right now, too. But look, Olivia Prater said, the shoe game, hold on, wait, first let's go back up. She said, low budget, Nipsey figured out a way to make a living using credit and a business plan. No, you're 100% right. He did do that. But what you said before that was a lie. You said he did it by himself. Nobody does nothing by themselves. It's always a team. And I'm going to give you a Nipsey verse, and while you on Nipsey nuts, that let me know that you is a Nipsey fan just like me. He said, I get his music away for free and make double back in shows. Right? He didn't care about the music. He'll give it away for free. In fact, Big U, that's where he would have been getting paid, right? But he made his money in Japan. I was in the game at that time, in the music game. So the biggest artists in LA at that time who were getting the most bookings were YG, DJ Mustard, Joe Moses, Ty Dolla $ign. Nipsey Hussle could not compete with them when it came to making club music and ratchet music. The ratchet movement dominated the clubs, hands down. But he was smart enough to create his own lane with the deal that he got, make money off of his merch, his business plan, and get booked, paid $10,000 in Japan, right? $10,000 out of the country after going on tour with the game on the LAX tour, after going on tour with Snoop Dogg. Who do you think put him in position to build that platform? See, music is not where the money come from. You think Jay-Z got rich because he was a rapper? Hell no, he made money as a successful rapper, and he was able to reinvest that and to get into other ventures. But to get that platform, to build a platform where you can brand your merch, to build that platform where you can get strategic alliances with corporate sponsors, he didn't do that by himself. So stop trying to rewrite history. Without a platform, you don't have that same marketing. You don't have that same visibility of whatever product you're trying to sell. Those brands aren't looking at you to market because what he said, now I get paid for my statistics. When you got doing music or just say podcasting, right now I could drop the analytics for the last 3 months and it's going to show you 1.4 million streams in the last 3 months on active chucks, right? In 3 months, 1.3, you're talking about a little over 400,000 streams a month. And we have 7,500 streams. Do you know how much we overexceed our base market, our segmented demographic? There's a lot of different products, just like a YouTube commercial, that would love to advertise their merchandise, their product, specifically to the market, the segmented demographic and market that we've established as a base. I can show you the geographical locations. I can show you the median income, even how many of them like wrestling, WWF, and all kind of other statistics which give you information about this market. Now we talking about marketing, strategic marketing plans. So, of course, Nipsey was ingenious for that. He inspired me. He left breadcrumbs for new up-and-coming artists to be able to see how to get the money without having a major deal and selling millions of records. Inspirational. Yet and still, he still didn't do it by himself. So stop it. Let's get to the content.
Streets because a fellow member of the Rollin 60s who was allegedly mad at Nipsey for accusing him of being a snitch. Eric Holder is also an old close friend of one of the other names mentioned in the new RICO case, the rapper and No Jumper host Brick Baby, real name Zaire Mitchell, another 60 that uses the moniker as a street name.
That day he got put on, we came up with the name. That was like a name that was really made for him. But he can't come in and be big. So being my big homie, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's big, and I'm little, you gonna be baby.
But anyway, following Nipsey's murder, different conspiracy theories would begin to spread about his death, suggesting that it might have been more than just a random argument with a low-level Rollin 60s member. One of these theories being that Big U had somehow been involved in the murder himself, particularly as he would seemingly tell different versions about where he had been the day of the murder, as well as having a motive due to the rumors that Nipsey had allegedly refused to re-sign a contract to be under Big U's label.
And for those who don't know, Big U is said to be responsible for the death of Nipsey Hussle. This is what a lot of people are saying, and it's because he keeps changing his story about the day that Nipsey Hussle died.
We actually was on 6th Ave with 100 cars. We got all the streets blocked. We waiting on UK to come out the house. Everybody phone blowing up.
How many contracts have you done?
We flying up there. We fly up there and we see the scene.
And then like later on, he would forget he said that, and then he'd go on live on IG and say that he wasn't even in town the day that Nipsey died.
Y'all was accusing me of I ain't even do. And what's funny, I wasn't even in town. So figure that one out. But I ain't gonna
hold on, let me stop.
And
right
Nipsey
there.
Hussle was signed to Big U, to Big U's record label, and that.
So TrapLore right there is saying that that Big U was saying that he wasn't in town when Nipsey got killed. But if you go play that audio, and shout out Big U, he shouted us out on that and said I'm gonna have to take him to the Damu and Kiwe conversations. If you go listen to that audio, and it takes too long to listen to everything him and Pete was saying, shout out to the Terror Squad, shout out to Pistol Pete. In their conversation, he was talking about a rumor which alleged that he had a fight with his homeboy, Fats, both the Fats. And he said, never, ever have he had a fight with both the Fats. That's his little homeboy. So TrapLore is trying to push a narrative, and he's acting like Big U is lying when he said he wasn't even in town when that murder happened. He was talking about both the Fats murder. But because he believes in his mind, or is just trying to convince you that he's talking about Nipsey Hussle murder, he went and spent that narrative saying that he was talking about Nipsey murder. Nasty work. TrapLore Ross. I suggest you go re-look at that and fix that, or it's going to be quite obvious what your intent is. all the way from Britain. Let's go.
That contract was due to be up and Nipsey Hussle wasn't going to re-sign. So that provided motive, okay?
By signing to it, it was signed to a 10-year production contract, which started in 2009, which would end 2019.
Crazy.
Big U reportedly also didn't attend Nipsey's funeral, and an IG Live sometime after the murder would appear to show Big U laughing when somebody commented justice for Nip, and going on to say that people are waiting for him to do an interview.
What up, Coco?
Wait, don't you wait on? You don't know what you waiting on, though. What you waiting on? You got to tell us what you waiting on.
Oh, Bonnie, what's up?
Justice for Nip.
Or your boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it.
You did. You did.
However, the day after Nipsey was killed, Big U would post what seemed to be a heartfelt tribute to Nipsey, with a caption that said how hurt he was at the news, whilst also interestingly pointing out that the last time he spoke to Nipsey was 3 days ago at the DJ Khaled video shoot, something that no one really publicly knew at that time, with Big U saying in the caption that when they were at the video shoot together, they had spoken about building a school, which some have taken as Big U actually trolling, given the fact that it was rumored that a much more tense conversation had taken place at that shoot. Even back then, people were getting straight in the comments on Big U's post, saying that he was the one who set Nipsey up to get killed, and as time went on, Big U would post more tributes to Nipsey to his Instagram page, with yet more comments continuing to reference a possible setup and the DJ Khaled music video. Less than a week after Nipsey's murder, Big U took to Instagram to announce a peace march in the hood in Nipsey's memory.
Greetings to everybody. To get this message today, we are having a visual for Nipsey Hussle at 3 to 5 today for all the different gangs in LA that want to come out and support. Over the last 2 days, we have been having meetings amongst us, A-Trays, Rollin 60s, Hoovers, East Coasters, Bounty Hunters, and everybody like mine to come together. We're going to ask that everybody come to Crenshaw and Slauson, be there by 3. We want everybody to park in the Ralph's parking lot. We're going to be escorting everybody from the Ralph's parking lot to the memorial. It's not open to the public. It's only for LA street gangs, Bloods, Crips with the like mind and want to support and pay homage to one of our lost soldiers, one of our good brothers and teachers and leaders. So it's open from 3 to 5.
And this indeed went ahead. Over a year after Nipsey was killed, Big U proudly showed off that he had met and recorded a podcast with DJ Khaled and Fat Joe, posting a video where he seemed to be very happy to be with DJ Khaled, specifically with Khaled returning the love and shouting out Big U.
That's right, love, Big U.
There you go.
That's
And clips were posted by Big U's label, Unique Music, with captions saying that they miss Nipsey. After Nipsey's death, there was a post on Unique Music's Instagram page claiming that Big U was the person who had introduced Nipsey to the world, but people in the comments would continue to claim that Big U was responsible for what happened, once again suggesting that Nipsey was set up by Big U for trying to leave him behind. After Nipsey's death, Big U posted Nipsey, along with references to his Unique label, numerous times, including one ominous post where he put up a video of Nipsey saying that he can't follow other people, they should be following him.
Blind can't lead the blind, bro.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
gotta have a vision.
Hey, real quick, I don't know who this is. Let me go back to it. AJ, I don't know who you is, but hit me on IG. He said, I remember when we lined it up in the projects, you got down with the homie Baby Bop, and I squabbled Cowboy BIP. Oh, Lil Cowboy. Nigga, I know who this is. This Baby Monster from Avenue 20s. What's happening, bro? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, salute. You remember gang fights, about 200 Bloods out there, right? All you got to do is say yeah, nigga. Nigga, line it up. That's the easy part, bro. You know? Let's get back to it. I know exactly who that is. Once he said who he got down with, BIP to the homie Lil Hustle. You know what I'm saying? Lil Cowboy.
Yes, sir. You gotta follow who got the vision. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
stuck on stupid, I ain't gonna judge you or have no disrespect for you, but I'm
gonna
definitely
be
not-
over here.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna follow you or take heed to your opinion. You're gonna have to follow what I'm doing.
I heard
and
that.
after a while, that way of thinking versus this way of thinking, more people lean toward this way because of the results.
And in the 2025 indictment, it was claimed that in a monitored conversation, Big U even suggested that he was the biggest Rollin 60 member ever, specifically saying that he was bigger than Nipsey Hussle. But despite the passing years, the rumors of Big U's involvement never went away, and people online would continue to speculate endlessly about potential conspiracy surrounding Nipsey's passing. Big U would comment on the rumors directly on numerous occasions, like in a 2022 No Jumper appearance, where he
on rumors and conspiracies. This shit is brazy, bro. Y'all, can we get out this super chat real quick, bro? Before
Most definitely.
I get back to the content, they said all this Nipsey Hussle conspiracies and rumors. Damn.
Wow. Man, we got Walter Parsons with the $10 super chat. I'm from the East Coast, my brothers. I appreciate the good content. If y'all didn't present this, I wouldn't have known this about Nip and Big U. Keep up the good content. Salute, salute, and salute.
said that he was just associated with.
Hey, man, appreciate that. Go ahead,
man. Walter Parsons, man, we appreciate anything that is given to the Damu Kiwe Conversations is highly appreciated. Blessings to you, your family, and your tribe.
Hey, hold on. We got a troll in the house. Thotty Gotti. As long as you ain't bringing your trainee with you and you ain't over here trying to get at no men, you can sit on there and observe some real content like the rest of the people.
The murder of Nipsey, because he's a very famous Rollin 60s member, and suggesting that he had a great relationship with Nipsey, and people are just spreading the rumor for money and clout.
Like how we was beefing when all his songs, every album he put out, since we had the so-called altercation, he shouted me out.
However, in 2024, Nipsey's brother Black Sam would do a podcast with Big Boy, alluding to someone being sent to kill Nipsey, rather than this just being an isolated crash out.
It as random as what the public thought it was. Like, Nip seen somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, you know, he already got convicted, so for me, without going into too many details, so for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever. It just don't make no sense. It's not random, you know. It's gonna come to the light.
Loose Cannon, a former ally of Big U and one of the co-defendants in the upcoming case, actually revealed on No Jumper that Big U had told him Nipsey was dead before it even happened, with Loose Cannon saying that Big U had prior knowledge of Nipsey's death before it all went down, mentioning on the phone to him, which led him to call Nipsey Hussle moments before the shooting took place.
He FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like,
hey, Black Sam, let me answer it. We ain't even gonna address Lucy Coochie, Loose Lips Lion, Loose Coochie Ashley, right? But I want to address Black Sam, and we addressed this already. And I know that you still in mourning, especially somebody that close in age. I know how me and my brother is. My little brother got life in prison, bro. So, and I know it hurts. What's it called? Survivor's guilt. I've been living with that all my life from being in the gang and dudes that I felt I would have rather died than to live without them at the time. You know what I'm saying? And this is your brother, so this is even much, much closer, right? Y'all so close in age. But one thing you do know, when you're saying people sent them, you understand what politics was going on with you, that you helped initiate by claiming that Eric Holder was a rat. You weren't the only one. Your whole All Money In crew done bit on this and have not produced any paperwork till today. Till today. And most people don't want to hear that. But just like Wack 100 said, Due Sims is a rat, and 3 years later, he ain't produced the paperwork. When I see him, it's up to me how I handle that situation. And believe I'm going to stand on that. So, Young Ant Buffet, if you didn't know that, I hope you know now. You understand what I'm saying? But back to Black Sam. Where's the paperwork? I question that right now. Where's the paperwork on Eric Holder? I mean, we got paperwork on everybody else, right? Since you saying, and you know what this was about, and you saying that everybody called this man a rat and knew he was a rat, what case did he rat on? Who did he rat on? We'll run the work up here. Email it, activechucks@gmail.com. Email it. Let us know how you come to the conclusion. A non-affiliate, a tuner. How are you putting a jacket on a nigga that he's a rat and beat up the nigga, put him in the trunk, put him in the hospital, and expect the nigga not gonna come back to get some get back? If you want to talk about niggas being sent, I don't think a nigga need to be sent. And the way he did Nipsey Hussle the Great was so hurting to see him get kicked. But that passion let me know that it appeared to be personal with Shitty. Personal. So you a tuner, a turned up non-affiliate, far from a buster, and you say you knew all the politics that was in the air, but you never spoke on that politic. He already got life, right? His appeal just got shot down, right? And it's hard for us to accept responsibility or our part in one of our loved ones being victimized. But for every action, there's a reaction. And right now, not one of y'all have ever produced a page of paperwork that boy Shitty was a rat. So he don't deserve due process. Even the criminal justice system, which is set up against us, affords us that, or at least some appearance of such. But he don't deserve that, right? This man's in jail right now for life sentence, and he was being called a rat by you niggas, and y'all ain't producing no work. But that didn't have nothing to do with it, huh? That didn't have him feeling a certain kind of way. Cowboy, who was Nipsey big homie, Thundercat, right? Guess he was little Thundercat, he was baby Thundercat. Said they had already spread the word that Shitty had jumped out, flashing a burner and ready to get on somebody else the day before, I think. So he already on one. He felt a certain kind of way about some shit. But somebody sent him over there. I wonder if somebody sent him to flash that burner the other time. Why he didn't do the job when he flashed the burner on the other person. Yeah. Just some things for y'all to think about. I know we get emotionally attached to people, but we got to separate that emotional attachment and really look at the facts. The facts is, till today, not one of them dudes who keep calling him a rat have produced no paperwork on him. And I could imagine me going against, let me see, Joe Mose, right? Shout out to little Joe Bucky, man. I could imagine the NWB crew saying that Deuce Sims is a rat. They got money, they got success, they got fans, they got support. And Deuce Sims never ratted on nobody. Deuce Sims was never afforded an opportunity to say, well, where's the paperwork? Just dirty politics. I'm going to feel like I got the weight on my shoulder, or the world on my shoulders. And I'm going to crash out too because I feel backed into a corner. So, hope y'all think about that. But I just wanted to comment on that since they put that Black Sam part up in there. And condolences to him. I know he's still mourning. I know how hard it is. And besides Pop and Cube, I have no better West Coast artist who I was a fan of their music, the entrepreneurial spirit, and how inspirational he is to other children and aspiring artists coming up on the West Coast. But you got to be able to separate that and stick to the facts. Rational thinking, not emotional thinking. Emotional thinking is that for which women are expected to do, not men. Let's go.
Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, 6-0. I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone, and I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got, or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what fucked me up, because my cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? What you mean? That
no, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, "Yeah, I love you, cuz," or whatever like that. I'll see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey, and so I'm like,
wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, called Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yeah, and
you like
just talking on regular. So it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked up. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
This clip actually led to a cease and desist being served on No Jumper, and Adam22 being advised to remove the content from his channel.
So everybody knows I got a cease and desist about the loose cannon interview that I did with Whack 100, and a cease and desist showed up from the one and only. Never thought my life would go in this direction. Never thought I would be getting a legal notice from the big man himself.
Oh,
Big
yeah, I just seen
you.
Big U said he ain't feeling that
Big
shit.
Lucifer.
Big
Is that a diss? I think that's a whack term. I don't want to say that. So from our perspective, we have decided to back away from this. This is not a narrative that I was really interested in pushing in the first place.
Even back then, this pale-faced Caucasoid from the Caucasus Mountains, Adam Graham Mason, was demonizing Big U back then once he got sent to cease and desist for the defamation, for defaming his character, implicating him in crimes that he has still not been charged of or accused of in a court of law or convicted of. And he back at it because Big U's in jail. So don't worry about it. We're going to take care of that too. But that's why he moved his money and say that he's going broke. Nasty work. Let's go. There's definitely an agenda that the feds got going on with these people.
The idea that Big U had any sort of criminal doings in his adult life, or that that he.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need to sell your house,
was involved with anything with Nipsey. This is not something I ever really bought in on. It was kind of a surprise to me that it got trotted out on the podcast. I don't have to make this kind of statement about why we decided to remove it or whatever, but you know, I did ultimately make the decision to take it down.
Interestingly though, when the 2025 criminal complaint dropped, it would turn out that Loose Cannon wasn't just anybody claiming Big U's involvement, but he was in fact an alleged former enforcer for Big U, conducting robberies on his behalf as part of an extortion racket later described by the criminal complaint as Big U Enterprises. But even more crazy, even before the criminal complaint revealed these bombshell allegations, Loose Cannon would openly tell stories about these robberies that he did for Big U on the No Jumper podcast for the whole world to hear. When the 2025 criminal complaint dropped on Big U, the world will be introduced to a dark trail of alleged crimes. But the complaint itself wraps up all of these activities under one umbrella organization, with the so-called Big U Enterprise allegedly engaging in an array of criminal activity, including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud.
Hey, State True 154 say if Shitty wasn't a rat, how come he didn't go mainline and plea his case? The truth would have come out there to show he wasn't no good. Well, first and foremost, he's EOP. He always been EOP. He been had mental health issues. So don't try to shift the balance of how the politics go. The politics go, nigga, if you don't have to work, well, you can stand on it if you're going to stand on it and you're convinced, right? But other than that, on the yard, if you don't have the work to show that a nigga was on wiretap, that the nigga's name CS2 or a confidential source in the paperwork, that the nigga was on wiretap doing crimes, or that he made a statement, a signed declaration, or have a recording of it, or he took the stand, then you don't just assume that a nigga know what the fuck he talking about. It don't work like that, bro. For your own objectives of trying to justify a wrong, nigga, where's the paperwork? We don't change the rules because this is Nipsey's brother or Nipsey's crew. Where's the word? Let's get back to the content. This finna get good. We got about 20 more minutes of this, and then we're gonna get into the scandalous video, and I'm cooking for y'all tonight.
Other financial crimes, obstruction of justice, illegal debt collection, illegal gambling, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Some of these crimes seem absolutely crazy in the modern day and make you think more of the Black Hand mafia extortion seen in the Godfather movies than gangbangers in South Central LA. In fact, Big U actually previously referred to his life as a modern day mafia story, but things were much more complicated than that, because to cloak this alleged criminal activity, according to the complaint, Big U's non-profit was at the front and center, and this, along with his persona he presented to the public as a reformed gang member, actually allowed Big U to navigate both the criminal underworld and the halls of legitimate power and business at the same time. His non-profit umbrella organization, Developing Options, which controls a number of seemingly innocent entities attempting to do positive work in the community, actually received over $500,000 from the GRID program controlled by the city of LA, with a total of over $2.3 million from the city of LA being handed over, hundreds of thousands of which Big U allegedly withdrew personally as a salary. He would also allegedly embezzle funds that were meant for community work, in a practice where he would solicit donations from celebrities for his charities, then taking the money for himself personally. The criminal complaint later called Big U's organizations a front and part of a plan for Big U to control the streets of LA undercover, and according to wiretaps, Big U's persona as a reformed community activist was just a facade, and behind the scenes he was openly claiming how he was still the same man that they said he once was. Big U was also heard on a wiretap saying that no one can beef with him because he'd kill them, apparently even later bragging to someone about being the only gangster from his era still murdering people in the modern day and age. Big U's alleged right-hand man, an enforcer, and underboss was a man named Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, with Mark Martin, aka Bearclaw, being a trusted lieutenant. Big U's name and crew pulled a lot of weight and called a lot of shots in LA for decades, particularly when it came to the nightlife. There's one infamous story about Big U getting into a fight outside of a nightclub in 2014 and a rumored deadly wave of violence and extortion that came soon after. In a video posted by TMZ, Big U is seen trying to enter a club with his friend who's being turned away, who then attacks the security. Big U decides to back up his friend, getting into the fight and ending up being floored by the Samoan security team, being left bloodied and carried away by the police.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need...
Whoa! Go! Hey! Stop! 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 Get that boy out. Oh! Get off the dude. Go! Stop! Hey, you, Mike. Hey, just stay down. Hold him. He's good. You, Mike. Hey, close the gate, Mike. Close it up. Hey, close it up. Get him inside.
Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out right now. Go. Get him out.
Be cool. Be cool.
I don't want him in this. I don't. Get out.
All right, cool. Get him out here. Back up. Come on. You, come on. You. Big you strike out. Huh?
No, he just swung at my guard. Leave him on the ground.
No, he goes to jail. He goes to jail tonight. Nothing to see, guys. Let's go. Move.
Hey guys, back up. Come on, what are you doing?
Big U later claimed that he had gone head-to-head with 15 Samoan security guards.
At the supper club up here. We was going in. It's only 30, 40 minutes left in the club. This dude hired something. The homeboy house. Yeah, they won't let him in. I'm like, I'm gonna stay out here with him. He just get off on the security guard for no apparent reason. Get off meaning? He just fired on the dude.
But you just have to stand on it.
All the security together is me by myself.
Big you strike out.
So I made the assessment. It's 15 of them. You fit to get your whooped. But how the rules go, I'm gonna get down where I'm mad at.
Hey, baby, as long as you willing to stand on it, that's what I'm saying.
So when I'm on the ground, I'm wrestling with him. One dude came and kicked me. If you look at the film, he kicked me in the side of the face.
Back up. Come on. Hey, give me one fight diving over here. Back up, guys. Come on.
So the blood, while I'm on my back, wrestling with the blood filter in my eyes. I couldn't see.
Hey guys, back up. Come on, what are you doing? Let's go.
I think I did pretty good, me versus 15. You know what I'm saying?
Big U would also claim that in the aftermath, hundreds of goons from different gangs came to Hollywood following that incident to back him up.
And dudes from every set in LA really stood up and was offended by what they had seen. My homies is Bloods, that's Cubs, that's from every set was upset.
In a subsequent video, Big U was seen bloodied and in cuffs as rappers The Game and T.I., along with Big U's son and an army of 6-0s, square up to the police, initially believing that it was the police that brutalized Big U.
Are you trigger happy too?
We not bothering
you. Trigger happy? TMZ, put it on it. TMZ, hey, get the camera on Big U. Hey, listen, police didn't do it. Security did it.
Hey, T.I. Who did it? T.I.
Police didn't do it.
T.I.
Who did it? Security did it.
But after the crowd realized that the security were responsible for jumping Big U, they begun to confront and scuffle with the security, with one of the people personally involved in beating up Big U taking off running from the mob.
Who did that to you? What? Who did that to you? Please. Who did it? They you up. Yo, people, who touched Big U? Who did it? Who touched Big U? Put it down. Put it down.
Hey, Scott, I got you.
Then, rapper The Game even squares up to security himself, ready to fight.
Look at Game sweating the security right now on the police.
Let's get them lights up.
Then, what sounded like young Rollin 60s members ready to crash out would escalate things further, looking for those responsible and saying that they had never seen Big U in that sort of state, with everyone trying to remove them from the situation before things escalate and get deadly.
I'm talking to you, 6-0 Crip. I ain't never seen my like that. Who hit you though? Who hit us? Who hit you? Hey, what happened? No, I can calm the whole situation down. What happened? I can tell you.
Look, it's a whole Mexican standoff right now. We got a whole Mexican standoff with Games crew and the police.
The gang would still try and square up to the security, who was saying that Big U has to go to jail tonight.
Watch your back, watch your back.
Need a confidence boost when filing your own taxes? Add a tax pro review when you file online with H&R Block. A tax pro.
The whole situation was a mess, and according to one rumor, this actually led to a gang war between the Rollin 60s, backed up by other gangs, and the Samoan security gangs that run the nightclub doors in Hollywood, with Big U saying in his Hip Hop Uncovered series how things got so serious that 4 to 5 people were expected to die over this, with some Redditors even taking this to mean that 5 people had indeed lost their lives as part of this beef.
It was a lot of violence against just clubs and security against clubs, and people expected 4 or 5 people to die. We got so many people dying over bullcrap. I didn't really want to add to that. That's not the legacy I wanted to have. That was a misunderstanding. You know what I mean? Went too far. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be.
Now, I wasn't able to find any evidence or cases relating to murders that happened in Hollywood following this incident, but apparently after things reached a boiling point in the streets, the Supper Club and Big U had a meeting to try and resolve things. This ended in the Supper Club allegedly cutting Big U a check for $200,000 and doing a food drive for his community movement.
You know, we had sat down with the owners of the Supper Club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000. We used about $70,000, $80,000 to do a food giveaway, toys. It was amazing.
The Supper Club's giving all these free toys and food. They're underprivileged, right? And so I start talking to Big U, the organiser of the event. How come the Supper Club was so keen to be involved?
Well, we've been messing with them since back in, the incident we had. They want to reach back, reach out, and help the community. For me, being able to take something bad that happened for me and turn it into a positive, instead of continue to let it be a negative, that's what I'm all about.
Supper Club later put out a public statement suggesting that Big U was the victim of a rogue security officer who took things too far, saying that Big U was not arrested and had no part in the violence, with club owners distancing themselves from the security that were working that night and promising that they would never book them again. Clearly, Big U was flesh and blood, like any man, and could also be caught slipping, but just as clearly from what came after, he was a formidable force in the streets who wouldn't accept this kind of violation lightly, and nightclubs would seemingly be a regular target for extortion attempts by the Big U enterprise. The 2025 criminal complaint would outline a situation where Big U shook down club owners, promising them T.I. and Wiz Khalifa to turn up to an event in exchange for 33% of the profits. These artists never turned up, but Big U demanded a $30,000 payment from the club, plus more of the profits, despite not keeping up his end of the deal, with a taped recording depicting Big U pressing the club owner and promising to tear the club up if he didn't get what he wanted, apparently vowing to bring 5,000 Rolling 60s members to destroy their club if he wasn't paid the money, and famous people weren't safe either. The criminal complaint would mention a litany of celebrities and athletes that had paid Big U a checking-in fee when coming to LA, checking in being an extortion method that out-of-town people often fall into, as they're pressured to get into contact with the local gang members, this often involving payments for protection and to not get robbed. The criminal complaint explained that checking in was a street tax that had to be paid to guarantee safety from gangs and criminals in the city, and according to the complaint,
well, first, that's a lie. Can't nobody in LA guarantee safety on shit. Nigga, we eat our own in our jungle. If y'all ain't paid attention to that, you know what I'm saying? And everybody ain't respecting that. Nigga need to eat. I don't give a fuck what another nigga talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I'm not the only one like that. Most of the niggas I know think like that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas thinking about Christmas gifts for their daughters. You think a nigga worried about what another nigga got to think about them robbing them or who they is? Nigga deal with that how I come. Nigga done went to war for free. What you think a nigga worried about it, what another nigga doing? So that's a lie that guarantees somebody's safety. Now, if they're trying to connect the incident where Big U was wrongfully kicked in the face by a rogue security guard, and it was tensions is heightened. And they say, well, look, we don't want no issues. You don't want no issues. Let's do something and turn this negative into a positive. That's Big U extorting somebody? What if they came up with that idea? Just like in this case when they go to quick to tell Dale, right? Dale Morrison, this rat who got every reason in the world to say that Big U was extorting them, but this the same nigga who was saying he was getting 25% of everybody that they robbed. This the same piece of shit who admits that he had a weed dispensary with Big U. This the same piece of shit who said that Big U was extorting them, didn't bring no at 1 year's parties, and then the next year did another party with Big U. So now that he got caught for pimping on some minors in Victorville, dope cases and on a RICO out of Ohio, which we ran some of that work. We got to go over the other half. Big U was extorting. And then you got CS2 back, who's dealing with Dale, the long tail rat. How convenient to have Big U's arch nemesis, CS2 back, having a relationship not only with this rat, right, who's going to the feds after WAC 100 and Big U friendship breaks up, right? They sever ties. The guy who allegedly claims to have robbed Quick Longtail Dale the Rat, Loose Coochie Cannon, is brought on to No Jumper by CS2 back to corroborate facts about such alleged robbery. Hey man, this shit is, I don't believe in coinky dinks. I don't believe in coincidences. This was definitely a Taylor act. Now you got this Wyopi, this mountaineer, trying to connect one situation where Big U was victimized and has a legitimate gripe, and a whole lot of people that got a gripe with these people because he felt wrong and they felt he was done wrong. And they come up with the idea. We're not going to hire them guys. They were rogue. He shouldn't have did that. Let's make it right for the community. We don't need more violence in the community. Big U says, you know what? I don't want no more violence in the community either. Let's make it make sense. And they do something and donated him some money, as well as did a nonprofit event with him. Salute to Supper Club, man, for getting that right. And this motherfucking, I don't know what's up with these YouTubers. These niggas be like straight feds, bro. So now he's trying to connect that with the allegations that's within the indictment. Let's go.
The Big U enterprise claimed control of LA and expected to collect tax from entertainers in the city conducting certain types of legit or illegal business. The criminal complaint outlined an incident where boxer Adrian Broner and his friends were part of a fixed dice game against some NBA players, who then checked in with Big U and allegedly paid him $100,000, after which Big U gathered his goons and went to confront Broner, allegedly roughing him up along with his friends for not checking in and for apparently cheating NBA players out of their money. But even as far back as 2020, people on Reddit would debate why Big U pretends to be a reformed gang member whilst also openly enforcing the checking in extortion method publicly. People knew that he was living a double life years ago, and this was an open secret in LA. Big U would even be seen in video clips on social media going to film sets where he had apparently forced the production to check in with him, saying that if they didn't, he would be taking all of their equipment.
Movie production in the hood.
That's how we do it, young man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
oh well.
Check your. We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
Big U was openly the gatekeeper for LA check-ins, warning out-of-towners in numerous clips that if you choose not to check in, you're not safe and you'll suffer the consequences, as well as saying that he too checks in when going to other cities.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in. When I go to Atlanta, I check in. When I go places, I check in. And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers, like who really real killers. Like if he ever find out who did that, he gonna knock everybody down. You understand what I'm saying? You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it? You know what I mean? And it's just about, sometimes it's about respecting, you know, yourself and then trying to get home. So, I mean, you know, I hear a lot of back and forth on that, but I mean, I don't know that it's a perfect answer other than me, myself, I check in.
But it appeared that Big U even had issues with podcasters like Gilly and Wallow of $1 Million worth of game.
Gilly and Wallow, they got a problem. I come to Philly, them the only two dudes I'm looking for. I don't got no problem with nobody else, no beef with nobody else but Gilly and Wallow right now.
Whack 100 and Loose Cannon would both tell academics that the Rollin 60s, on the orders of Big U, once stripped Gilly and his son and sold their jewelry for $100,000, with Whack 100 also revealing that Nipsey Hussle allegedly ended up giving Gilly $20,000 back because he felt bad for him.
Man, you better ask Gilly.
Gilly, no?
No, Gilly got stripped down by the homies because of
You're
Big
lying.
U.
Wait, Gilly?
Yeah, the homie Rose and them stripped.
We're talking about Gilly the kid. We're talking about the guy with the podcast. We're talking about $1 million worth of game.
Yep. He got his son stripped down, and they stripped down Gilly.
What do you? Like for what? Like what? What do you mean? Gilly never got robbed though.
Yeah, him and his son got stripped. They stripped him in the 60s. Big U lined them up. They stripped him, took all their jewelry, and did it. Came on the stage and said he did it. And mad at me like I did. I ain't do it. I wasn't, man.
No.
Mad at me for.
Gilly official from Philly, man. Gilly not going like that.
Gilly had his hands up in the monkey there with his two kids. A father that couldn't protect his two kids. That's what he is. I told that, look, bro, don't be popping at me because with another saying, nigga, that for Rollin 60 Crip for real. Everybody know that is. He telling you, Big, you lined your punk ass up. Now, if you got your ass robbed over there, you and your kids, he said Nipsey went over there and gave it $20,000 because he felt bad for him.
However, it seems that whatever may have happened, Gilly would repair the relationship with Big U, as they could later be seen acting very friendly with each other. But no one was safe from the Rollin 60s extortion racket. But it seemed that the biggest targets were grey market businesses that couldn't rely on the law to protect them, particularly unlicensed smoke shop dispensaries, with Big U and his henchmen allegedly running an extortion racket where they would charge protection money to a store and rob them if they didn't pay up. In some cases, robbing them and giving some of the proceeds back if they agreed to line up other robberies and to prove what they were capable of doing. Footage of one armed dispensary robbery allegedly carried out by Rollin 60s on a dispensary that happened to be owned by Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam would even circulate on Reddit, and this is where Loose Cannon enters the picture. According to some sources, Loose Cannon, real name Tremaine Ashley Williams, had a tough upbringing in South Central LA, losing his father to a death sentence in prison. Loose found himself deep in the politics of LA streets and prison yards, eventually turning to the music business as a producer, making beats for people around him like Nipsey and Draco the Ruler, before turning to rapping himself, collaborating with Nipsey Hussle during his come-up, and allegedly almost getting signed by none other than Dr. Dre, who according to Loose produced his song Bringin' California Back featuring Nipsey Hussle and YG. But in the end, Dr. Dre ended up signing Kendrick Lamar, as he considered him to be the safer choice, who didn't have as many potentially disruptive ties to the streets.
Now, once you got a nigga, and this is what the federal government is going to find out, right? But they just throwing all kind of shit against the wall, trying to see what's going to stick, right? The Big U Enterprise, the kings of extortion, and their star witness is Loose Coochie Ashley, right? This nigga said he was signed to Dr. Dre. This nigga said he produced for 50 Cent. This is how they're introducing him. Every one of those stories are lies. This is when you say, you know what? We'll get back to this content tomorrow, man. We cutting this shit off. You have no credibility. You pushing all kind of false narratives. And just that quick, we send TrapLore Ross back to the UK. Speaking up on South Central LA business, speaking up on Big U business, and you don't even know what the fuck going on, bro. A lot of these YouTubers do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering why Chuck was running with no monetization. Didn't make sense. He must get a paycheck from the government. That's exactly what's going on, bro. Cheeseburger Chuck. You know what I'm saying?
Nasty work.
But we got a video from Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Let me see if I can find it, man. Hold on. Maybe it'll pop up when I do it like this. Big Gov, salute to you. Shout out to the D. Is that it? Let me see. We gonna really get into this. Duke Sims, I'll knock you out, bro. Don't sell me a good dream, Buster. Nigga tongue wrestling, acting tough on the internet, bro. You over there hanging with federal confidential sources, talking about some gangster shit, nigga. We don't believe none of that shit, nigga.
Bro, you know what his argument was, Deuce?
What?
He said, you sat there and interviewed Stutterbox. And because you interviewed Stutterbox and I'm cool with you, we accept rats. Bro.
Hey, listen. It sounds like the nigga. Well, first, I'm striving for journalistic perfection. I'm far from it. But if you can't tell, that's why I do street journalistic research, nigga. And in my research of the Main Street Mafia case, I interviewed the cooperating victim, established that he cooperated first. We're not doing it under guise and we're friends. In fact, Stutterbox hate me and threatens me today because I call him a rat. But hey, I guess we on two different levels on this journalistic shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if we had Del Dog here to corroborate Mark Stevens' story, then we wouldn't have even used Stutterbox. But to get to the bottom, we did that. And we were able to corroborate. And Wack got on the phone with Stutterbox and recorded Stutterbox. And Stutterbox told Wack to his face. And that's the rat that you over there hee-hee-ha-haing about, you dumbass nigga. When just like he said he didn't give a fuck about Luce, he was a grown man and he crashed out. Nigga, that's what he gonna say about your dumb ass after you crash out, nigga. Let's go. Yeah, but Rose ain't on no indictment or nothing. Let's get to this real quick. Scandalous Los Angeles TV.
He changed it in the movie. He told you that the movie was just the Hollywood effect.
You want high performance, long lasting, affordable tools. You want Harbor Freight tools.
Like they do what they do to sell what you call it. Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice.
Let's hit that light.
I won't say it again. There's only two people names will change. Reggie right now wouldn't change.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we finally get to hear Porky speak on something we've all been waiting for. His explanation for why his name was changed in Greg Kading's movie. As expected, Porky plays it off like he has no idea what's going on, acting completely oblivious. The person sitting next to him on that very panel is none other than Reggie Wright, the same Reggie who originally pointed out that Porky's name was changed in the film. Reggie made it crystal clear that his name, Reggie Wright, wasn't changed. That small detail speaks volumes, because Reggie's implying that the only names that were changed in the movie were the ones tied to cooperation, Stutterbox, and CS2 Back. You can read between the lines. The suggestion is clear. Names were only altered to protect informants. Salute to Reggie for even asking Porky this question. Now watch closely as Porky tries to spin it, dancing around the truth, downplaying the implication, and pretending like it's all some big misunderstanding. Keep your ears open. This part says more than he thinks.
Gene changed his name in the movie. Okay. Yeah. It was Gene. No, I know it. He said Greg, but I said Greg, but I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question.
Reggie is saying he doesn't want to ask him that question, because he's the one who told us Porky's name was changed in the first place. Reggie said he didn't want to ask that question. But trust me, if he didn't want to ask it, he wouldn't have asked it. This is how you know Reggie has had enough of good old Porky.
Who name? He said Greg. Why did Greg change your name in the movie is what he's asking. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie.
Did you see the confused look on Porky's face? Like he had no clue what was going on? Watch how Reggie just sits there and lets him lie and look stupid before finally coming in and correcting him.
Nigga, the dude that played Uncle Jerome, who pulled up in the Rolls Royce at the donut shop, is Stutterbox in real life. They call him Stutterbox. Yeah. They changed everybody, motherfucking Dave, in the movie.
Whenever Porky finds himself in a pickle, the first thing he does is scream Stutterbox. Crazy part about that is there were only two people's names that were changed, Porky's and Stutterbox. How convenient for Porky to perfectly call out the one other person whose name was changed. Teresa Swan's name being changed from Tammy Hawkins isn't quite the same, because sometimes she actually goes by that name. That's the name Greg Kading used when he was speaking about her on Vlad TV. But Stutterbox has never, ever went by the name Percy Locke. And Porky has never went by the name Alonzo Zoe Scott.
But again, you don't see me doing nothing but driving the truck, nigga. Standing in the back of the truck telling them, and really they was straight stud magazines. That's what it was. Me and K-Slay had the magazine together. Like, the magazines, bro, what you looking for? I don't know. They changed some people's name and then they didn't change some. But to Wax's point is he had nothing on that case.
Reggie is trying to help Porky get out of the trap that he himself set for him, but to no avail. Stutterbox told Greg Kading that Porky had weapons in his home, which makes sense now, being that Porky has went online bragging about selling guns to Crips so they can kill each other.
Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess who they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Pick you all up. Whack. Crip niggas gotta come see me. Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess who they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Pick you all up. Whack. Crip niggas gotta come see me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know they go to war with each other, so I don't fuck them bitches kill each other all day long. You know what I'm saying? I be Crip on Crip shit.
He's even claimed to have supplied entire neighborhoods.
They know who they is.
So you giving Kiwe's Kiwe's gun?
Always, yeah. Nigga, what is whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with? What is whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with? What is whole neighborhoods I didn't get that with? So what that mean?
So when law enforcement showed up at his house with a search warrant, looking specifically for firearms, and actually found them, suddenly, Box's tip doesn't seem so far-fetched. What makes this even more damning is the timing. Porky was already in the middle of fighting a felon in possession case in Texas, one that was later dismissed in the interest of justice, a phrase often used when someone has offered their cooperation in return. But at the time of the raid, he was still vulnerable, and the feds were looking for exactly that: leverage. They wanted something solid to hold over his head, something they could use to get him to flip on Marion Knight. And finding illegal firearms in the home of a convicted felon fighting a gun charge, that's exactly the kind of pressure they needed. That's why he was arrested.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
It wasn't random, and it wasn't about living above his means, like Porky once claimed. It was a calculated move by the feds, designed to tighten the screws just enough to make him talk.
He found the tracker.
I was a person of interest.
Yeah.
I wasn't
because the person y'all should be mad at that, about that, on that, it should be Stutterbox, the guy you be up here defending, L.A.
Reggie said, "I'm always defending Stutterbox. When did I do that?" It's clear that just like Dupree and Kading, Reggie hates Stutterbox and protects Porky.
The guy you always defending is the one that lied on the man.
Tell L.A. send his number, and I'll call him with Stutterbox on the phone, and Stutterbox will tell him.
You guys imagine me giving the federal informant CS back my phone number so he can call me on his wiretap hotline with Stutterbox on three-way, just to tell me what I already know.
Y'all though, Box, help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro? Yo.
Yeah, I'm
what is he saying I had to do with the case? Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided. My truck got
in the paperwork. Right, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take your call. And I sent it to you. And he said,
I talked to dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call.
And I think, wait. And I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
But they said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork.
So Box just told Porky that in the paperwork it says that he tried to call Del Dog, and Del Dog did not want to talk to him. When you read the paperwork, the person that Del Dog did not want to talk to was a guy named Back, who was labeled as confidential source number 2 in the paperwork. Not only that,
damn, this shit is getting stuck, man. What's up with my watch?
But in the paperwork, it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him. Man, not only that, but in the paperwork it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him if it was okay to give back his number. So Stutterbox is telling Porky directly that he is CS2 back. Why do I need to give Porky my number to tell me anything when I just heard what Stutterbox told him directly?
Right on time. I told y'all ain't gonna want to miss this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's LA Scandalous. That's what it is. You know them. They build their channel. They won't have a channel if they're not talking about me or you. Yeah. But I'm just addressing them, giving them the opportunity, to address their questions, because they'll never get us on their channel, But I try to get it, just to be transparent, because we don't give a fuck.
I only know.
While Reggie was saying all that, Porky was still trying to find a way to wiggle out of the box that Reggie put him in. Listen to his next failed attempt.
I knew the Poochie character.
Poochie?
The Suge, Biggie, Puffy characters. The Stutterbox character.
They changed Stutterbox, Teresa's. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker.
Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice. I won't say it again. There's only 2 people names will change. But your right name wouldn't change.
What about the cop dude who was fucking with Suge's wife or something?
Oh,
Is that
Kevin?
his real name?
Kevin Gaines, yeah, that's his real name.
This nigga down bad right now, nigga. This nigga. Only you and Box's name was changed, what? Only you and Box.
Porky is over here searching for anybody else whose name might have been changed. I think he's finally beginning to understand that the movie he said he's watched over 1 million times was really the beginning of his demise. Now let's watch Porky go to his favorite deflect whenever the movie gets brought up.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did it. All you gotta do is look at it. Nigga, the truck driver played no...
Everybody knew it was supposedly you, so they just trying to be,
But you know how they knew that, Red? I told them.
Yeah.
I'm the one told them. They only know about the movie because I told them.
Got you.
I told them, go look in the book. Now in the book, they didn't change my fucking name.
There it is, folks. Like clockwork. Every time you bring up the movie, Porky immediately tries to pivot to the book. The same book where Greg Kading went out of his way to paint Porky as some kind of hero. The same guy who's openly admitted to selling guns to entire neighborhoods. The same guy who bragged about putting weapons in the hands of Crips so they could kill each other. Yet somehow, in Kading's book, Porky is portrayed like a model citizen. Go figure. But let's not let him off the hook that easy. Let's stay with the movie. Specifically, let's talk about that truck scene Porky claimed he told us about. You know the one.
Jim and I have been tracking our trucker. He's made several trips to San Diego.
Which is on the border with Mexico if geography isn't your strong suit.
The same Mexico our informant claimed Suge's running kilos of cocaine through.
That's something.
That's not enough.
Well, there's something else.
Every Tuesday at 2, Zoe makes a stop off his route.
We checked the address, but it's a vacant lot.
Sound like a meetup spot.
That's what we were thinking. He could be dropping something off, picking something up. Hard to tell.
What's his location?
Come on, man. This shit is holding up progress.
Legal officer. Just a little side hustle I got going.
Okay, what's your primary home?
Construction equipment from here to San Diego. Y'all can take a few if you want.
We're good.
Can't make this shit up.
There's no way he's running drugs for Suge.
That's the same scene Porky told all of us about. But what he didn't say, and what the writers of Greg Kading's movie conveniently left out, was the fact that while Porky was being pulled over on the road, federal agents were simultaneously raiding his house. They had a search warrant specifically looking for weapons, and they found them. But in the movie, they make it look like it was no big deal. Like Porky got pulled over, they didn't find any drugs, so they just let him go on his way. Clean and simple.
Fucking Biggie murder unsolved.
But that's not the truth. It's a polished-up version of events designed to make him look like he walked away unscathed, untouched. And this is exactly why Stutterbox said the entire movie was a lie. Because the real story the one left out of the script, is that Porky was a felon already fighting a gun case in Texas, and the raid on his home turned up more illegal firearms. That's not something they could just sweep under the rug, unless, of course, someone had a reason to protect him. So when you rewatch that scene, don't just focus on what they showed you. Pay attention to what they didn't. That's where the truth is hiding.
Okay. You go pull the book up, you go to the murder rap, you go to the chapter stutter box, you see my pictures of my 30th birthday party, you see my name, real name, you see stutter box real name, where they saying stutter box put them on me. They followed me for 9 months, only to find that I run a string of small businesses that was doing nothing illegal. Go pull up the book called Murder Rap, go to the chapter stutter box, you'll see my real name, my real face, pictures, stutter box name, Suge name, pictures of me and Suge. But see, they're not gonna go do that. You know why? Because it debunks the bullshit they say.
Exactly.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And the suspension to make it a
commercial. Hey, but look, shout out to Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Y'all make sure y'all go follow his new channel. They've been reporting on.
Y'all don't run it in the.
We're trying to get them monetized, right? So we could close this one out. We don't need that one. And we got a super chat, Yael. If you can see that, always positive. What is that? Salute. Yael, do Sims, keep y'all foot on their necks. Hashtag ETE. Expose the exposers. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Salute to the brother, y'all, man. Let's go. We're going to get into this. Wax said he was hauling cars. No, he had a box car at the time. He wasn't hauling no damn cars. If you keep making yourself a civilian and we know how they get out, yeah, that's exactly what he doing. And we know how they get out. He was one of the ones that popularized that on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to share this with y'all. So let's get into my cutting. Hopefully I'll be able to get all this out in about 3 minutes. So while they talking about and implicating Big U and all of these different crimes, let's go to some of these crimes. And Wack was dealing burners, got caught with some burners. Stutterbox told him that it was like Fort Knox in there, in the words of Detective Greg Caden. So they tricked Wack 100 and had a company call him for him to pick up a load so that he wouldn't be in the house when they came. They were afraid that he would shoot it out with all of this arsenal. So when they get in there, they find guns, right? They're trying to get leverage on them to flip them to get information on Suge. They're investigating the Biggie murder investigation, right? So now, the nigga said he was hauling cars even when he would talk to the feds. Straight like that, Yael, I've been waiting on you to pop off. They using Wack to push narratives. I wonder what his next campaign will be since he got Big U locked up. I'm quite sure. I figure up in there, but Jay Prince, maybe the A-Trays, now that you see young Bozo Buffet as being an exposer. But let's get into this real quick.
Don't come in here talking to me if you want. Hey, blood, drop my burner off at the studio. I'm telling you, I'm going to go there. Because you went against me, nigga. Come drop your shit off. I'm on the way. I'm 20 minutes from it, nigga.
I'm on. I ain't
Don't
never
come
been
in here talking to me if you want. Hey, blood, drop my burner off at the studio. I'm telling you, I'm going to go there. Because you went against me, nigga.
Come drop your shit off.
I'm on the way. I'm 20 minutes from it, nigga.
So CS2 back is telling one of his 100 EBT dude boys, Creep the Glock fiend, drop off his burner. drop off his burner. This is legal, right? An ex-felon talking about a burner. Now, all that civilian shit is out. If you speaking on street shit, you will be held accountable. Ain't no I'm a civilian. If that case, keep the streets or your civilian mouth closed. If that's the case, keep your streets or your civilian mouth closed. I get what you're saying, D's nuts. So that's one, right? I don't see them got this nigga with no indictment about using shit that he said on the internet, incriminating evidence that he uses on the internet, right? Let's get to this real quick. Let me make sure that y'all can see this. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be able to hear this. All of this shit that this nigga get away with. But I guess they don't feel threatened by CS2 back, or maybe they just still they owe him enough favors. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into this.
Just talking, right? But listen, this may not all be alleged. You feel me? Let's get into this clip right here. And I want y'all to listen close.
Properly. So you got to remember, Luce, the side of him y'all don't see, I see on my couch. The side of y'all did see, where y'all thought it was him, was really being empowered by me by the time he got back to y'all. Yeah. He'll pop up on 59th and Crenshaw with a bunch of gifts, right? But the whole time it's looking like this him, but in his head, he know where them gifts come from, right? Mm-hmm. So he knows what the capability is. He know what that is. Right?
So you thinking that the shit is coming from me, Loose Coochie Cannon, coming from Big U, Loose Coochie Cannon, but I'm the one bringing these gifts on 59th and Crenshaw. Remember when Scandalous played the audio of Wax saying that he supplied guns to the Crips so they could unalive other Crips, right? You probably picking up lizard hookers at the truck stop. What up, y'all? I'm behind in the live, just listening to the trap mouth gloss reaction. Oh yeah, that was nasty. We cut that one short. It was so much speculation and conspiracies and what do you say? Gossip. He's rumors. That's what he said. And rumors. CS2 Back is one of the most dangerous people that you could come across. Y'all still don't see it. What? He's the pig. Of course we see how dangerous he is. He ain't finna come at a nigga on no gangster shit. Nigga, he coming with the laws. That's as dangerous as it get. Or he'll put a crash dummy out there to crash that after he sell him a dream. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The nigga is saying that he's the one dropping off gifts on 59th and Crenshaw, which is 60s territory, referring to guns, right? So, let's get to another one. This nigga is always on here, right? Let's go to this one. On No Jumper, the same platform which got Big U indicted, right? Oh shit. Hold on. That helped get Big U indicted with Loose Coochie Cannon's corroborating evidence, right? Wait, why is it still showing this one? I thought I pushed stop selling. Let me close this off, man. So that was the one about the gifts. And then let's go here. So this is Poetic Flacco.
I'm working right now.
Look at this shit. Oh, I gotta show them over there. Hold on. Let me show them over here so they can see it. My bad. I forgot I gotta show y'all the screen so y'all can hear and see it. It's nasty work though. Let's blow this up too. I want y'all to pay attention to Whack 100's thighs or hips. Hips.
Like, No Jumper is not my platform, it's Adam's platform, right? And the show itself.
Hey, listen. Hold on.
What the?
Hold on. Hey, nigga, hold on. Nah, cause not okay, well, bring him up out of here. Bring him up out of here, nephew. He keep playing. You keep playing. The nigga just played me talking about some no boy.
Like, No Jumper is not my platform, it's Adam's platform, right? And the show itself.
Hey, listen. Hold on.
What the?
Hold on. Hey, nigga, hold on. Nah, cause.
Okay. So, I'm not saying that he was wrong for flexing on that fuck nigga Flacco like that, but I'm just saying this is on camera now. Remember, Reggie Wright Jr. told us after Brick Baby crashed out with the DW thing and 4 Extras and Spody Face came up there that his law enforcement friends were watching No Jumper. But after the No Jumper beat down, CS2 back flashing blammers and acting as if he's rushing No Jumper, no arrest there, right? I guess that he's not their target, right? So if he's not their target and he's up there implicating people in crimes, it ain't hard to figure out he's working with them to get their targets. Everybody that they're targeting, Loose Cannon, he's in jail. Big U, he's in jail. Brick Baby, he's in jail. So they charged Brick, Boosie, and so many others for just showing a hammer on the podcast video, etc. But Wakashi 99 cents get that pass. Yeah, he working for them people. Yeah. Loot from the loot, that shit has ship itself. Buddy don't have one solid bone in his body. Let's make them likes match. Yeah, hit them likes, man. We ain't finished, man. We finna cook these niggas. Justin CS2 back is no way near dangerous. He just the master of ducking and hiding. That's a fact. Held back by a pinky finger in his t-shirt. So-called tough guy who doesn't get busy. Man, that nigga ain't tough. I think everybody know that already. For real. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, bro. This nigga ain't trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Big U go and Wack argue over who the Bloods. Oh yeah, we could get to that also, but let's get to this first. I'm gonna share this with y'all so that y'all can see it. Boom. Let's get into this. This was good. This is really good.
Came out.
Conversation. Them like.
Look at him a certain way when he did that.
Yo, listen. I keep trying to tell y'all that section and see what's going on is niggas is spilling the beans.
I keep trying to tell y'all this was over a year ago. Y'all want to know the exact date? That section talking about the 60s. Niggas is spilling the beans. January 21st, 2024. He knew that niggas over there in the 60s was ratting. Ratting.
That's what's going on. You notice it ain't none of Nipsey homies that ever came out and said, Whack, you lying about that freak shit. You know why? Because a few of them was participants. They know. Ooh. Niggas is just spilling the beans. He was listen. He said something else in there that he's setting them up for. You didn't hear what he said? Yeah, Nipsey got a baby by my cousin.
Another lie.
You know why he know the footage exists?
Kinda not his cousin.
You know why Loose Cannon know that the footage I speak of is real?
That's the baby mama?
That's his fucking cousin.
Oh, shit, bro. I'm done. I'm gone. All right, y'all.
You didn't catch when I said, you stupid.
Luce been with me the whole time, you dumb, stupid ass. Them niggas over there shaking like Knots right now. God.
Luce has been with him the whole time.
So Luce has been with Wack the whole time, right? On top of that, Wack is the one that had Luce thinking Big U was bringing this stuff over there, these gifts, but all along it was him, right? Sound like a nigga's manufacturing a conspiracy or a RICO on another nigga. Let's go though.
He made a diss song about Wack. He made a diss song. That was the play to do that.
That was the play. Loose Cannon made a diss song against Wack 100 to dupe Big U into believing he wasn't fucking with Wack 100, but he was working with Wack the whole time. I hope that the jury hears all of this evidence that this nigga wasn't working on behalf of Big U. Oh, that should really help this case. Let's go.
He said, I got about 50 niggas on the street right now. That motherfucking loyal member underneath him. That's how you do it. You always keep one right there. Like, go at me all the time.
Dang. Luce been wanting to come out. I just didn't let him out yet. He don't give a fuck because that's his main hitter. What do you think, he gonna run up on his main hitter?
Hell no.
That's why you don't. That's his nigga. Guess what else just happened?
The Rick Ross and
That
all that shit.
relationship you got with Rick Ross and me.
Why you stole it out my mouth?
The Rick Ross and that was over. That's over.
Nigga, I knew you was about
What
to
do
say
you
that.
do? He said, yo, a nigga have us whoop, and then you didn't see him say, then he'll pop up with the niggas like, nigga, what you doing?
Making you look funny, and
Then
then
had the niggas thinking, yeah, some niggas over there.
And have the niggas pop up with the shit. Ain't that in the indictment? This weird ass nigga ain't have faith. Nigga, didn't you read that in the indictment? This was a year ago. Wack 100 is pushing this to the corroboration of what the nigga Dale had already told the feds. Remember, Dale is his friend. Nigga, you compromised. Let's go.
Send my homies over there to handle that for you. All Rick Ross and Meek them is gonna be woke up because guess what? They know if they drop that bag or not.
You know, most drivers don't know that they can buy out their lease because it's not really talked about, right? It's not really talked about at the dealership.
Gross tell Rick Ross, look, I'm gonna keep them niggas off you. I'm gonna be with you.
Hey, bro,
That's a sick nigga, bro.
I keep telling niggas I work in phases. Let me see how smart you are, bro. What was the last bullet I launched? I'm gonna give you the last three. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna give you the last four. I released the paperwork with the police.
I know where this is going.
Then I double back and released the signature line with him and Nipsey Hussle on the contract and told him, say another word, I'm gonna let him see what the contract is you sent me. Right?
I'm all ears.
Then the female SKG. We're going at your character and the contracts you got over there, boy. And then now, this your homeboy saying you writing serial numbers down the pistols, which relates back to what?
We coming for them contracts. So I sent the bitch SKG at you. For those who don't know, SKG was FaceTiming Wack 100 when she attempted to and did assault Big U at the gala for the charity fundraiser. Let's go ahead and turn this up again. Pay attention. This is what he said he orchestrated. Targeting this man with putting him in jail by hiding behind a woman's skirt. A nigga that you said you got an issue with. Nigga that marked you out in the parking lot, allegedly, at the Novo. And nigga, you don't pull up even though you got a key to his house, know where he lives, to get that out the way. You send a bitch to try to provoke him to put him in jail. This the police ass nigga Young and Buffet is hanging out with. This is the rat ass nigga Young and Hefe taking orders from. You working at the behest of, in furtherance of, a federal confidential source. Nigga, you's a rat-loving piece of shit do-boy, nigga. Ain't no gangster in that. Nigga, you a prostitute to a rat, nigga. We might as well put you on Western, nigga. Nigga, take that motherfucking shirt off and let them titties hang. Them big-ass areolas you got, nigga.
Titties.
Nigga need to be stripping on Western. This nigga's a prostitute, nigga. Nigga sold out for a no jumper interview, nigga. But let's get back to this.
Right?
I'm all ears.
Then the female SKG. We're going at your character and them contracts you got over there, boy.
Then the female SKG. How many of y'all seen after this defamation of character Big U sent, seen this nigga Adam interviewing SKG? SKG going on all of these platforms, smutting Big U name, implicating him in crimes that in her own book she accused Nipsey Hussle of. Right? This clout chasing, fat, sloppy body ass, uncomfortable built bitch. Right? She's working with this federal source, FaceTiming him, and tries to attack him at a nonprofit gala fundraiser so that he can lose the contracts that he had with the city by reacting with violence, which would put him in jail. These the police games this rat-ass nigga's playing with that claim he from Pacoima. And Young and Hefe is all in for a no jumper interview. This is nasty work. Let's get up out of there first, man. We done already got that one. You know what I'm saying? We done already got that one, right? Let's get to this clip real quick. You know, we're going to run through these clips. Then I got some audio I want to play for y'all, and then we're going to be up out of here. I don't think the audio's that long either. Maybe like 10 minutes, but the nigga CS2 back. Reggie Wright knows what CS2 back said when he got caught with them guns, right? Multiple guns. He brought Greg Kate in the clubhouse to lie about the guns, right? Remember, he supplied hoods. He supplied Crips so they could beef with other Crips, right? He sent niggas, go, blood, bring me my strap, right? Yeah, they was getting it from me, right? Then he get caught with multiple guns when they raid his house when that truck was pulled over. And him speaking up on the main street, CS2 back, provided reliable historical evidence on the Main Street Crips. That's not me saying that. That's what the paperwork in the Main Street case say, nigga. So who is this fat rat-loving ass, hamburger built, grimace-looking ass nigga with titties to say what he knows didn't and did happen in a Main Street case? Who the fuck is you, weirdo? You was in a fucking low. How the fuck you make it to a low if you really with the boogie, weird ass nigga? Nigga, I tried to program, nigga, I made it to a medium for 8 months. and end up catching a new case, weirdo. Re-indicted, dead homies, nigga. We are not the same. But you know, since that wasn't enough, Wack had to get up off that Texas gun case, and he had to get up off of these guns they found in his house. Listen to what comes to Reggie's mind when I talk about this. Listen.
Egregious or whatever, because to my knowledge, Wack wasn't around when Biggie got killed.
That's.
Oh, no, you talking about Mark Stevens. You talking about.
So this is about CS2 back. And I didn't say nothing about Biggie Smalls. I'm talking about Mark Stevens. But Reggie knows that Wack told on Poochie because Reggie is the orca. Reggie is a suspect in the Biggie Smalls murder investigation. He's also a witness in the Biggie Smalls murder investigation. Reggie Wright Jr. is Wack 100's big homie. When Suge was in jail, Suge was never selling drugs. Reggie got drug convictions. So while Stutterbox assumed that Wack was moving drugs and guns on behalf of Suge because he hung around Suge, he didn't understand the dynamics. Reggie brought Wack around death row when Suge was in jail. He became a staple with Reggie Wright Jr. because he already was being planted. So when Suge came out, he wouldn't see nothing wrong with it. And he was gathering intel. And the intel that he got from Reggie once he caught this case was to say Poochie is the one that unalived Biggie Smalls. So that's why when I asked about CS2 back, Reggie immediately gets to talking about, well, Wack wasn't around when Biggie got killed, so he don't know Poochie. Who said anything about Poochie? Then he correct himself, oh, you talking about Mark Stevens. Yeah, that's what Wack gave up. He gave up whatever he gave up on the main streets. That wasn't enough. So now the nigga had to give up some shit on Suge. You want to know what he gave up on Suge? Let me find this real quick, bro. I think I sent it to Yael. Yael, I hope that I'm able to find that.
Yes, sir.
He was asking me, what the hell is all of this? You sending me?
I was like, hey, man, what the fuck is this shit?
This nigga was tripping. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was the nigga Young Fat Buffet, you know?
Yeah,
that's his new name.
we didn't want to give him too much spin, bro. The nigga already down subscribers. I think the first day he did that, he lost over 100 subscribers. People unsubscribed him. The comments are, bro, I got some shit from the A-Trade gangsters talking about bad about this nigga. I'm talking about this on the post. I'm gonna show it in a minute. Hold on. So this was the corroborating evidence from Tanisha Swan. Now, Tanisha Swan is one of Suge Knight's baby mamas, right? So, what happened was after Wack got caught and he told them that about I like to say almost 10 months later, the orca tells the Greg Caden and Darren Dupree, look, I just want whatever information I gave y'all, I just want y'all to give immunity to Tanisha Swan, right? Tanisha Swan uses a lot of names, but that's Suge's baby mama. So what they did, they met with Tanisha Swan at a Starbucks, then at another place. in the streets, and they brought the IRS lady, because Tanisha Swan has all of these different names she goes by because she's a scammer, right? So the last time Pork Butt, the orca, drives Tanisha Swan to the DEA headquarters on Temple Street, where she gets down there, and mind you, Wack already told them that Poochie unalived Biggie on orders from Suge. Now, here comes Reggie acting as if he's trying to be a savior for Suge's girl, and he doesn't want no credit. I need y'all to interview her and give her credit. So Greg Caden and Darren Dupree writes a fake letter as if it was Poochie from Fruittown Piru. Like on his dying deathbed, he had a letter written out admitting to his crimes. Imagine that, right? So Reggie drops her off up there. They give her the letter. It's signed. And Tanisha Swan starts crying and admits, which was all a farce, right? Admits that her baby daddy Suge seen her on a visiting at jail, told her he wanted Biggie knocked down, and told her he'll have the money sent to her so it wouldn't be traceable. Got her the cash. Once she got the cash, $25,000. Once she got the cash, she met with Poochie and gave him, I think, $12,000 or some little bit of amount of it. Then she gave him another the payment, and she kept about $10,000, $12,000 for herself. Let's get to this letter. On May 28, 2009, Task Force officers Greg Caden and Darren Dupree, along with Federal Bureau of Investigations. Wait, can y'all even see this? Y'all, can you see this?
No. Can I see it, sir?
Pardon, man.
I just thought you was reading off. Oh, there you go. There you go.
There you go. My bad. On May 28, 2009, Task Force officers Greg Caden and Darren Dupree, along with Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent, and they got that redacted, interview Blank at the Southern California Drug Task Force office in Los Angeles. Special Agent Blank had asked Blank to allow law enforcement personnel to interview her about her knowledge of the 1997 murder of Christopher Wallace. Blank transported herself to the interview location and arrived alone. Blank acknowledged that the interview was voluntary and non-custodial. Blank advised she had contacted a lawyer prior to the interview. However, she declined to be represented in this matter at the time. Blank stated she had been a longtime associate of Marion Suge Knight, and then it's a whole lot of redacted shit. Stated she was very nervous and apprehensive to provide investigators with information regarding criminal activity related to Knight because of possible retaliation, and Blank didn't want people to think she was a police informant. Blank was especially concerned about the perception her child would have about her if anything happened tonight as a result of Blank's information. Special Agent Blank advised Blank that there could be no guarantees that information will remain confidential. However, law enforcement would be conscientious of her situation and handle the information delicately. Special Agent Blank suggested several options to Blank to ease her concerns, including possible witness protection, grand jury proceedings under subpoena, etc. Blank readily agreed to provide grand jury testimony, but stated she would not be comfortable testifying in open court. Against Knight. Investigators employed an investigative ruse with Blank by producing a fictitious letter and affidavit completed by Poochie and his lawyer, in which Poochie confessed to the murder of Christopher Wallace and implicated his co-conspirators. Investigators did not advise Blank that Blank agreed to participate in the conspiracy and follow Knight's instructions. Blank contacted Bolton on the telephone and arranged a meeting. Blank informed Bolton, which is Poochie, that Wallace would be at the Peterson Auto Museum in Los Angeles on March 9, 1997, and that Knight wanted him killed. On the night of March 9, 1997, Blank went to the Peterson Auto Museum. However, Blank claims she left the location prior to the murder. Several weeks after the incident, Bolton contacted and requested compensation for the murder. Blank returned to the jail and informed Knight. Knight told Blank arrangements would be made to have the money deposited into her account. Within a week or so, Blank withdrew approximately $9,000 cash and delivered the money to Bolton. Several weeks later, Bolton contacted Blank and requested more money, explaining that he needed to get out of town for a while. Blank again visited Knight and informed him of Bolton's request. Knight caused additional money to be deposited into Blank's account. Blank then withdrew approximately $4,000 cash and delivered the money to Bolton. Note, several times during the interview, the Blank began to cry and stated she was extremely frightened about the repercussions of her cooperation and advised she would invoke her constitutional rights if she was forced to testify in court. Blank also refused to consider being a documented confidential source in furtherance of the murder investigation. Confidential source. That she didn't want to continue working with them, but they offered her this opportunity because she told them about Poochie. You want to know who else they had to offer that? I'm finna get into this work. I got the content, right? Let's get into the content. Hit that like button, man. We cooking. Y'all over there acting stingy with them likes, man. We trying to get it all the way over with. Okay, hold on. My bad. Let's get into this. Then we could get right to this. Welcome to Damu Kiwe Conversations. If you just tapping in, y'all have missed a lot. But let's go to this real quick. You want to know why they got after Wack? We'll let Wack tell you why they got after him. Let's get into this. Hold on. Bam. Hit the like button. Let's go. Y'all can hear CS2 Back tell you why they came after him. The initial case. See, a lot of people get confused on what had to do with the Biggie and Tupac and Suge and Death Row with the Main Street investigation. Well, there's a federal investigation going on. And just like they offered Tanisha Swan to be a confidential source, providing them information and put her to work because she told them about Poochie, how would they even know or get Poochie's name? Where did it come from? They couldn't make a fake note about Suge paying Poochie about this unless somebody previously then gave this information to law enforcement. They ain't just swinging in the wind. But let's hear what CS2 Back says this was about.
the initial case, from what I understood, was the investigation of the murder of Biggie Smalls, which was being handled on the Fed side.
Which was being handled on the Fed side. Did y'all hear that? They were on him about Biggie Smalls' murder, gathering intel on Suge about the Biggie Smalls murder investigation. That's why Reggie said, Poochie, Wack wasn't even around when Biggie died. Poochie, and then, no, you're talking about Mark Stevens. Why would you assume I was talking about Biggie and Poochie unless you know that the feds came looking for him to get him to squeal about what happened with Suge Knight and Biggie Smalls murder investigation? Now remember, let me go ahead and do this so I ain't got to do it twice. Let's back this up. Oh, shit, hold on. Let's go into this. Damn, y'all still couldn't hear.
Embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association. Who I saw the FBI flak jacket? The bitch.
That's crazy.
Right? So I say, damn, that's the same bitch. So by now my antennas go up. Like, damn, I'm saying this nigga boxing with a fed and don't even know it. This one, I still ain't know what time it is, right? So we get into the conference room. They got like 7, 8 feds, whoever they little leader is, whatever y'all call him. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney going crazy. We filing a lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association is filing complaints against him because you guys came the way you came. His neighbors are frowning upon him. All this shit. We playing for the bag, right? So dude says, well, we still got your client on 2 different situations. He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here.
Now, mind you, this is 2 days after CS Tubac's house and his truck was raided. What you seen in the video where they only show his truck being raided, they're hiding the fact that simultaneously they raided his house and they're looking for guns. And he's out fighting the gun case in Texas. And listen, what happened?
Yeah. Right? So first situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-con convicted felon. He can't be around firearms.
We found firearms in the house. He's an ex-felon, convicted felon. He can't be around firearms. You out on bail, got caught in Texas crossing state lines. You're fighting a case at this point, bro. The Texas case. 3 guns, a chopstick, a 12 gauge, a pistol, 800 rounds of ammunition, crossing through interstate commerce, giving feds jurisdiction. Now, while you're out on bail, you get caught up attempting to extort Shaquille O'Neal and Money Mark Stevens. That's a fact, nigga. Stutterbox told on him about that attempted extortion. Money Mark Stevens corroborated that in his statement to Sheriff Detective Paul Fournier and Detective Michael Coet. That's why they said the only one arrested was Cash Jones. Now they run in your house and you on a wiretap, but we finna play that anyway. But they run in your house and they find guns, plural, So listen to when they say, we found these guns, not this gun, as in singular, but plural, these guns. Let's go.
Right. So I stopped my attorney. I said, well, you ain't found no firearms in my house. He said, yes, we did. These firearms and such and such. I said, well, I ain't never seen them firearms in my life. He said, well, they registered to your wife. I said, well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, that's your wife. I said, okay, well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, you live in a home. I said, you can't prove I live in that home. Right? What, you got some cars that's registered to a corporation? Matter of fact, I said, can I go in my back pocket? I pull my wallet out. I slide my wallet. What's this? That's where I live. I've been a resident of Oklahoma since 2003. I got 13 houses on my portfolio. Which one you gonna put me in various states? Right? I said, you see that? Commercial driver's license. I'm a truck driver. So you putting some guns on me that's in a California residence, but yet I pay Oklahoma state taxes? Help me understand it. Let that go. Second thing they had against me, they press play, wiretap. This is why I know when I hear certain wiretaps was conspiracy, how they get you. They got me on the phone. Said, yeah.
So they done ran in his house. They done hit his truck. And now he goes to the upper conference room of the FBI headquarters building 2 days later. And they tell him, we found guns, plural, in your house. Right? And we got you on wiretap. Right? And you got this case out in Texas. Right? We don't really want you. Well, I could tell you Stutterbox doing this and Dale Dog did that. Listen, man. Okay, and what happened? Okay. But look, we don't give a shit about that case. This is Greg Caden and Darren Dupree. We want Suge. We want to get off of this lawsuit. Let me close this off. Let me close this off for y'all real quick. We want to get off this lawsuit that Biggie Mom got. That's our priority. So we're more concerned, not because we care about Biggie Mom, not because we care about his family having closure. His family that sued for $400 million and that would bankrupt us. So what we want to do is come up with something that could get us off all of this. You don't gotta believe me what their priority was.
These murders are dead. And although the co-conspirators
listen to what he said.
Free, maybe it's that Biggie's family had waged. Perhaps it was the LAPD's opinion. The shooters in both of these murders are dead. And although the co-conspirators are still walking free, maybe it's best just to let sleeping dogs lie. On the one hand, we had vindicated the department from those false allegations about being involved in the murder. But on the other hand, it was very disheartening having gathered the evidence that we did and the LAPD not having the fortitude to continue forward that Biggie's family had waged. Perhaps it was the LAPD's opinion. The shooters in both of these murders are dead. And although the co-conspirators are still walking free, maybe it's best just to let sleeping dogs lie. On the one hand, we had vindicated the department from those false allegations about being involved in the murder. But on the other hand, it was very disheartening having gathered the evidence that we did and the LAPD not having the fortitude to continue forward that Biggie's family had.
So the LAPD didn't have the fortitude to continue to pursue Suge Knight because once that would have, they couldn't prove it, then Violetta Wallace and Faith Evans and Biggie's son would have been able to argue that and win that $400 million lawsuit.
Solving both of these murders. And then the rug gets pulled out from under us.
The girl y'all just seen
it appears
was supposed to be Tanisha Swan.
Exactly what the LAPD had wanted all along. Gather enough evidence to disprove pools theory and get out from under that potential $400 million lawsuit that Biggie's family had waged. Perhaps it was the LAPD's opinion. The shooters in both of these murders are dead.
So they really just wanted to get off of that lawsuit.
And then the rug gets pulled out from under us.
So now that y'all got all of that, and y'all see what all of this was about, the investigators that was looking for damn, what happened to my screen? Let me take this out. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my shit was that wrench do look bootleg. So
oh, he made his own wrench.
Right. But look, so their whole game was to get Suge and to get off of that, first to get off that $400 million lawsuit, which would have bankrupted the city of LA and the police department because police were implicated under Detective Poole's theory, saying that David Mack, Rafael Perez, and other crash unit officers who worked with the LAPD worked with crooked police officers such as Veggie Wrong, right, were hired to knock down Biggie Smalls, right? Now, to get off that lawsuit, they needed to come up, the whole task force objective was to come up with a theory to disprove Detective Poole's theory, which implicated the police and would get them off the lawsuit. So what I'm finna do is I'm finna tell you what Stutterbox told us, since that's what he want to do. Not only did Reggie mention and connect Wack to Poochie subconsciously without us asking, but we had an interview with Stutterbox, and we finna get into it real quick. Let's go. Hold on.
And is that why he said exactly. No, I who said that? Amir Muhammad. Right.
I went to prison, bro. 4 years. If I was a rap, I could go to prison with one gun and 13 ecstasy pills.
One gun and 13 ecstasy pills? You said right. Oh, okay. So Ray J popping them thizzles. Yeah. Okay, so the nigga Wack, they raided his house before you got kidnapped, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when they raided his house, what did they? How many guns?
Like
8 pistols.
Yeah.
Okay. No, he don't never mention that. He try to.
Now, Stutterbox is saying that they found 8 pistols in Wack house when they raided. I don't know how accurate that is because Stutterbox exaggerates and lies a lot. But he was his neighbor. So take that into consideration. Let's go.
And his son, his girl took the gun case, though.
Wait, Kim took the gun case at the movies. All right.
Yeah.
But right.
He had a bunch of gun cases, bro.
But the one when they raided his house, it was like,
he had 3-4 guns in there.
Okay, so now he's saying it was 3 or 4 guns that they found in Wack house. He's saying it was 8 guns in a car at a hotel, and Kim took the gun case for him. Let's go.
So after they raided his house, who said that? Because that's what he told him. That's what Wack told Big U, right? Well, that's what Big U told me.
Put me in jail because don't know. Hey, put Dog in the bus.
Right.
So Wack told Grant Caton to close his book, Poochie from Pyru killed Biggie. And he closed the book and made Wack like a hero.
And is that why he said
he owed him a favor.
Exactly. Right. He working. So you do understand that once a person one like, more time. Okay. So after they raided his house. Who said that? Because that's what he told him. That's what Wack told Big U, right? Well, that's what Big U told me.
Put me in jail because it don't know. Can't put Dog him in jail because it throw Wack under the bus.
Right.
So Wack told Grant Caton to close his book, Poochie from Pyru killed Biggie. And he closed the book and made Wack like a hero.
And is that why he? And Stutterbox told us back then that Wack 100 told Greg Caden that Poochie was the one that killed Biggie and that Suge Knight had ordered it. And then Reggie comes back and brings Tanisha Swan to corroborate that. And we don't know who else was in between that they used to corroborate it. But it's been 4 hours and about 2 minutes. Well, almost 1 minute and 10 seconds. And we have come to the conclusion of today's segment. Yeah, why don't you take us out, man? Let them know where they at.